do you mean props to Dama on the title card? I mean, Dama made the logo. The logo's pretty. I like the logo. But I downloaded the title card off of one of those VTuber websites. I'm sorry, I don't remember which one it was. I think it was just like an Etsy thing. It was like a package of them. But Dama did make my logo. It's a very pretty logo. Here, do I have it? You all saw it. It's good. Hi, chat. How's everyone doing? I'm sorry if some of you are hoping for a more positive outlook tonight, because I plan to whine and complain all night about stuff I don't like. Also, I need to add one more thing. Where is it? What would it be under? Browser. Add existing you. And I'll scoot you down here. You just need to be under that, but above that. Awesome. Terrible Tuesday, perfect for rants. Yeah, so for those who didn't get to see the title card, I want to whine and complain about YouTube thumbnails. Also, how's my audio? It says it's peaking. Is it peaking? Does it sound bad? Does it sound fine? Can't really hear it myself. I mean, I probably could if I set it to monitor output. Yeah, no, it sounds fine, I think. I mean, I hate my voice, so there's that, but... So tired of seeing those kind of thumbnails all over my YouTube feed now. Yeah, so we're gonna... By the way, I might have Lumi in later. But I'm gonna chunk you guys right into it. I'm gonna take you down my my little pathway, I guess, right? Also, really quick, I want to make sure it's in order. It's not. I think I need you. Yeah. So chat, I get a little notification this morning on my Cinder Shy Lily vid that I did with Ava from this person. It says, "Hey, More Kazuhara has a video about you." And I'd send him back, "I don't know who that is. Would you mind giving me a video title? I'll watch it if it looks interesting." They didn't give me one, really. So I was just like, okay, I'll just, I'll go pop over to his channel and I'll see what we're what we're working with, I guess. So I pop over to his channel really quick. And it's just this. Over and over and over again. And my thing is, it's always like really vague too, right? Like, she's had enough. They're so over. They're done. This one that just says racist. He got caught. She's done. It got even worse. She is over. Doxer. They're done. It got worse. She's over. She is so done. It is so over. Just... This is why my title is It's So Overdone. Because everything in this is it's so over. She's so done. It's so over. She's so done. I'm like, fucking what? And my other problem is, and I know like for some people it's not an issue, but for me, I think this is always an issue, is this thing in the top corner here. This fake of every thumbnail, these fake tweets, I don't like that, ever. I always think that's a horrendous idea. You should never do that. Like, it's just genuinely, like, bad form. Honestly. And you could see I watched a couple of these, because he had said that I was mentioned in a video, well, he said I was in a video, so I thought he had a video about me. Clearly he doesn't. He only goes for like big people, which is fine. But I was like, okay, so I'm probably mentioned in one of the Cinder videos. And they're fairly short videos, so I started clicking through a couple of them, just these two. And it's just like... Here.
So it seems that...
I'm gonna browse through it real quick. So he brings up Cinder. He brings up Shy Lily celebrating their 900k followers. Talks about that for like 2 minutes. Then brings up Sparky. Because what he's gonna do is he's gonna bring up this message where Shy Lily admits to putting a keylogger on her boyfriend's thing, right? Actually, I need to swap to boop YouTube capture. So he's going to bring that up. And then he's going to watch the clip. But you can see him, by the way. He's not here. Sorry, you can't see him. My bad. I'll scoot myself over. I'm gonna go. So look, I'm gonna scroll through. You can see his face right now, right? Just not saying anything, just watching. And then he scrolls down to the comments to start reading a couple of the comments. I'm gonna move myself back in front of his face because you guys need to see my pretty mug over his. EU cybercrime, by the way. Oh, it's a crime in America too. You cannot put a keylogger on somebody's shit, even if they're your partner. I don't know why anybody thinks she should be let off with that. And he reads, like, you can see he's not moving down. He moved down to the comments, and he's not scrolling. He's not reading any extras. He just reads the first one. And then he goes back to Sparky's thread. He's not reading any of the comments. He's just looking at the thread and talking about Shy Lily. And then he finally scrolls down to start to look at some of Sparky's replies. Exactly one reply. And then he just stops. And he continues talking about Shy Lily the whole time. He doesn't bring up anything the whole video. He reads like 2 tweets, watches 1 video, and that's it. This is the whole thing. And he stretched this out to 9 minutes. Like, I don't... Add something. And that by itself might not be a problem. So let's go back to his channel. Sorry. Ah, shit, I closed it. My bad. So let's go back to the channel, right? And it would be fine-ish, right? If they just, like, allowed that. But look at this. Shy Lily, Cinder, Kirsch, Shy Lily, Cinder, 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 Cinder. Technically Cinder, but also Silvervale. Cinder, Cinder and Shy Lily. Cinder, Cinder and Shy Lily. Cinder. It's worse than fucking Tectone. Just, like, I get it's a big story. I made 2 videos on it. 2 videos on it. Granted, they were long streams, but they were covering, like, I had a point and a purpose, and I covered exactly what I wanted to talk about. What did Ren do? Okay, so, for those of you who don't know the Ren Primrose thing, Ren Primrose canceled her Gamer Sups affiliation for a very vague reason of she disagreed with the opinions of people under Gamer Sups, and Gamer Sups was being quiet about it. Everybody wants to pretend that we don't know who that was. We all know it's Kirsch. Everybody wants to pretend like it's a secret. Anybody that's honest with you will tell you that she quit because they won't remove Kirsch. And that's the long and short of the story. That's all of it. And she did it in such a vague way because she feels like she can get both sides of the aisle if she does that. Like, she won't upset the curse side because she didn't say the Foxu's name outright, but she can still get the moral support of the anti-curse side because they know who she's talking about. And in reality, the anti-curse side just said she was a coward for not saying the name, and the curse side said, we're not idiots, we know who you mean. So she just lost both sides in trying to do that. Never be vague, chat, if you're going to do stuff like that. It's always going to come back to bite you in the ass. This isn't about Ren Primrose. This is about, like, me just being annoyed by, like, certain YouTube trends. Which, to be perfectly honest, I'm not saying my thumbnails are creative, right? My thumbnails are, I would admit, kind of lazy. I make them, like, 10 minutes over the course of, like, 10 minutes, and I use the same background in all of them. Granted, it's my special background that's just for me. It's not like, sort of what you can see in the curse thing here. He does the same background for them all, which looks like it's fire and lightning, I guess. Like, I'll admit, my thumbnails, lazy. My background, my model, my friend's model. Like, for Center's Tide, we have our logo, although I am going to go back and edit these to have fun stuff in the center. But I do creative stuff when I can, like the Lily one, where I made the Caesar meme. Or, like, for important stuff like the Cinder thing, I like to include the screenshots of everybody actually talking, and not just made up shit I put in there that nobody said. They're just fake tweets. So I'm not sitting here like, oh, my thumbnails are the pinnacle of creativity. But, like, if I did these kind of thumbnails, literally every thumbnail I made, I would spend, like, 2 seconds on it. Just change the word and throw in a new picture. I just find it lazy and uncreative. I hate the fake tweets. I think the fake tweets are borderline slanderous at times. And he's not the only one to do this. Many people do this fake tweet thing. I think it's borderline slanderous. And I hate the text is always vague as shit. Your text can be short and creative, or it can be long and descriptive. It can't be short and vague. I don't like short and vague. I think it's very stupid. Beezy wants to go back to the 50% length frame is the thumbnail automatically. I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean. And I kind of mention it because our old friend Catliente has a very similar style with clearly fake tweet, with picture, with single line of text with red in the background, except she also does the stupid arrow thing. My god, I hate the arrow thing. By the way, when we made a video covering one of Catliente's videos, I went to go find an arrow, like, clip art to put on my thumbnail as a meme, because I was trying to make fun of hers. I found the exact arrow she uses. It is like the second or third result on Google, or at least it was at the time. I thought it was so funny. Honestly. How do I make thumbnail? Oh, I can, if you guys are curious, I'll show you real quick. I don't mind showing my process. I do want to do this real quick. So, chat, if you want to make an easy thumbnail, I use this website called Pixlr. It's an easy, like, just online image editor thing. I use specifically the one on the end here, which is Pixel Editor. And you can't see it right now, because apparently the line of images here is not saved to your account. It's saved in your memory cache, and all of my old stuff was on my other computer. But I just go back to one I've already selected, like the one for tonight. And I'll show you off to the side here. You can see like some of the assets I was using or some of the stuff I was trying to use. I use like multiple pictures of me, multiple pictures of the image I want. The only thing I don't ever change are the 2 text files. I will like make them bigger, smaller, whatever I need to do with it. But I just save the same 2 text files because it's easier. But normally when I'm making a thumbnail, I try like a whole bunch of random stuff, and I never delete any of it. So this is a graphic design tip from Mizu, who took graphic design classes in school. Never delete anything until the project is completely done, and even then maybe don't delete everything from the files. Because you never know like what extra stuff, you might maybe want to go back and change it in the future, or like maybe you come up with a new idea that you can edit in. This is why if you have programs that allow masking, you want to mask images instead of outright erasing pieces of them. But enough about my thumbnails. I find these lazy and uncreative because you don't have to think about it, right? The tweets, you're not picking out an actual tweet that suits your argument, you're just stealing one. For the pictures, you're just finding the first picture you can. Although, look at these crying pictures. Are these AI? I just noticed that, because I guess I didn't notice this on my first run-through. The pictures of all of the characters are just the same, with different, like, hair and stuff on them. I guess that would mean they wouldn't AI. Are they having an artist, like, just swap out the hair? It just feels weird. It makes me uncomfortable. Wrong, never delete anything ever. Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. But I find, because you don't have to think of anything, you just need one word, and that one word can be vague as shit. It's very easy to come up with. You don't need to decide on the tweet to showcase your point. You can just steal one and call it a day. And then normally you can just Google the picture and slap it on there. Could be her art. I would have to decide which is her art then, because then we have this down here with the cinder thing. With the candle. Would this be her art, or would this be her art? Because I think she's just paying somebody off Fiverr, honestly. Actually, really quick, does it say in the comments, or in her thing? My art and resources here. She has art? It might be hers then. Can I see these like bigger? There we go. Eh, maybe it is hers. It's definitely a base though. Because it's the same, like, literally the same face every time, just with a different hair. Art style reeks of old Newgrounds. I mean, this one does, in the corner here. The others are kind of like, picked up those how to draw manga books in high school. Which I'm not, by the way, I'm not bashing her art at all. Just so we're clear. Everybody starts somewhere kind of deal. I just don't like it. That like this drawing them all crying thing, it feels weird, kind of icky. Maybe that's just a me problem though. Oh yeah, I need to move this back to where I had it. And then I was gonna say another person to like a lesser extent, and this is more on like Akko's side of the internet than mine, was Nicholas Diorio, and I exceptionally hate his, like, just so bad, because we just hit like extra levels of lazy where it's just picture, just 2 giant red text or giant yellow text on his thing. Like, oh my god. I hate it. Hate it. And I hate his even more because these are supposed to be like scripted YouTube videos, but they get stretched out to like 2 hours. Like, I'm streaming. I'm doing stuff live. It's okay for my shit to be 2 hours. You are making a scripted, edited YouTube video. There's no excuse for your shit to be 2 hours long. When did content creators get so lazy and minded? This is very common in the commentary space, and I hate it. I've always hated it. And I think some people are allowed to do it as long as they are doing it in what I would consider a creative way. And one example I would provide would be June the King. I don't know if anybody's seen June the King before. But he kind of has these, oh, did he stop doing it? Yeah, he had these. Which I kind of like these, because it was like his own creative thing, and it was like his own little brand to it. And like, yeah, it's technically lazy, but it's a series. Like, it's kind of okay for it to be. Now he started to do this, which is fine. It's serviceable and it looks nice. But I don't like it necessarily. I don't like how it looks. Also, I want to talk about Verlicify at some point, because I know Verlicify has like, he has been upset with me in a past life. I'll say that. But I do kind of want to touch on him one day. I would just put these in the creative thumbnails. I just don't like them. And I did not know he made a video on Lily Orchard. I'm gonna have to loop back around for that one. But yeah, I don't like these. It's so samey. What happened to Game Grumps? I don't watch his Game Grumps one. I think he's just talking about like, because June the King typically does not current events. He does like the long history of a person, which is what makes his videos interesting. With Game Grumps, because you can even see JonTron in the corner here, I'm pretty sure it's about the overall downward spiral of the channel. Because Game Grumps has always been on like a downward spiral ever since JonTron left. And there's been multiple documentaries on Game Grumps with how they fought with their studios that were providing the money, how they couldn't get return on investment, how like the separation with JonTron already hurt their brand pretty bad, how the fact that Aaron is just a lazy piece of shit does not do them any favors. How Danny Sexbang kind of is a little bit of a sex pest. Kind of a lot of a sex pest. Used to watch Verlicify, but he got weird and I got bored of competitive Pokemon. Yeah. He is a strange boy. Didn't know anything about them. Too good to know. So Aaron is not like... Aaron's kind of just an asshole, honestly. He's always been an asshole, though. His unique problem with the channel, for those of you who don't know this, is he's lazy. The reason him and JonTron had a separation to start with was JonTron wanted to turn Game Grumps from two guys on a couch to a real, like, YouTube channel with creativity and all this extra stuff to it. Because JonTron always wanted to kind of be in actual, like, movie production. It was always kind of like his dream, more or less. So he wanted the channel to get bigger. Aaron didn't want that. Aaron was really lazy, and he wanted the channel to be something they could show up, play a game on a couch, and make easy money. And so that's ultimately what caused them to break up. And he ended up finding other people who would do the work for him, so he didn't have to. Danny Sexbang just always tries to have sex with his fans, which we all know, chat. Don't sleep with your fans. As far as there were accusations of him grooming underage people, As far as I know, that was untrue. What was true is that he left to meet up with a fan, had sex with them, and then just ghosted them completely because he was just looking to get his rocks off. And he did this to multiple people. Which, I mean, like, it's not illegal. It's just kind of shitty. Commentary YouTuber starter pack. Thing it's bad. Person is bad, lay evil. Extended to 3 hours. Yeah. Chat, I have a lot of very random knowledge in my head. I watch a lot of drama content. So there's a lot rolling around in my noggin. Groupies for everyone. That was basically his thing. I can almost guess, by the way, what the Lily Orchard video is about, if you guys are curious. So, Lily Orchard became somewhat infamous because they made a My Little Pony fanfic. And the fanfic is called Stockholm. And I'll be honest about 2 things. The first is that it is impossible to find an original copy of Stockholm. Stockholm was a very long fanfic that had like 9 or 10 chapters to it, had a ton of shit in it, ton of stuff. So the claims of the currently publicly available collection of Stockholm by Lily is that somebody, the person who uploaded it, added the weird creepy stuff to it. The reality is at least one part of Stockholm we know for a fact was in it before this person uploaded it. And most people have kind of agreed that this person didn't make any changes, and it is the full collection of Stockholm. And it features a My Little Pony called Scootaloo, who is considered like the adoptive little sister of Rainbow Dash. Like, by the fans, she's considered like the adoptive little sister of Rainbow Dash. It's not like a canon thing. And it features Rainbow Dash using her massive Fuda horse penis to have sex with Scootaloo. Forcefully, by the way. Not consensually. It is a fucking wild read, and there's a part of me that wants to do a, what do you call it? An endurance stream where I just read through all of Stockholm. It's very long, though. I don't know if I could get through all of it. But like how other people read My Immortal on stream for fun, I want to read Stockholm on stream to curse everybody with the knowledge I also have. Why do I think you just shared cursed knowledge? Because I did. There's a lot more in Stockholm. It is called Stockholm because Stockholm Syndrome. Did I click on the Archcast? Is that what they talk about on the Archcast? What do they talk about on the Archcast? I've only ever been on one show, and all we talked about was how much I hated Dev, and chat cheering me on to like yell at Dev more. Also, thank you very much, Tired Gamer, for the 5. Thank you for the head pats. YouTube giving me now would be a good time to insert ads. I'm not going to insert ads. I don't like inserting ads. If I go to the bathroom, I'll insert an ad. Also, chat, Lumi might join in. We might spend a lot of stream covering a terrible video. Just to add to your torture. Used to be a brony. Anything Scootaloo gives me PTSD. Lily sounds like an oversexed freak with too high of a libido. Lily is not actually known for Stockholm. Stockholm is what made them infamous. Lily is mostly known for really, really stupid takes on media. Like, exceptionally stupid. There is one take they made that I think might be true. Which they claimed that the villains in Avatar: The Legend of Korra were all based on the four corners of the political compass. And it could be a stretch, but after rewatching Korra, I think they're right. And I hate to say that, because it was like a really schizo take, but I do think they're right. Archcast is a random most of the time. It's about the Lumi's foot fetish. Also, Wolfsbane, thank you for the 5. Why do you hate Dev? Mizu, do you have 3 hours to spend listening to me rant? What is your favorite pony? Rarity. I have no point, or no shame in admitting I like Rarity. I have been told that, I'm in competition with Arch for Rarity's hoof in marriage. At least I believe they said Rarity was his favorite as well. You know what? That gives me an excuse to go into my, was it about My Little Pony? It kind of was. Yeah, it was about My Little Pony. Okay. So something else I wanted to touch on was, because this wasn't supposed to just be like thumbnails I hate. I did it for the thumbnail because it's funny as fuck. It's YouTube trends that I hate. And one of the YouTube trends I hate the most is the propensity for YouTubers to not know what the fuck their video is about, and they just go off on political tangents or their personal, like, moral opinions that they want to, like, rain down on you. And I'll show you guys, because I think this is my YouTube history right here. Yeah. So you can see in my YouTube history videos like, you know, you've watched to completion, the red bar is full, and videos I tapped out on. So like this one I tapped out on like 20 minutes in. I watched June the King's Amazing Atheist in full. I was watching this Black Griffin one, got about 20 minutes in and tapped out. By the way, this song, Hot Shit by Tom Cardy, really good song. Should listen to it. And there's this issue, right? Because I love knowledge. I love watching videos about topics I don't know much about, or even topics I do know a lot about, and I want more information into. And so legal stuff. Oh, I love legal stuff. Videos that have the fake. Oh, so these don't have fake red bars. I'm not complaining about the fake red bars, although the fake red bars do suck. So I wanted to watch this one because I love analysis of like courtroom drama shows and how like they affect, or like how they get shit wrong. Mostly because I really like legal stuff. So I want to show you the clip from this video that made me go, okay, I'm tapping out. I don't care what your opinion is on Law and Order, because what you just said was like schizo shit, and I don't care. Gotta swap to the YouTube capture.
1967, he responds to the unrest in a Reader's Digest op-ed. There is a permissiveness toward violation of the law and public order by those who agree with the cause in question. This term, law and order, was chosen specifically as a racist dog whistle. As
keep in mind, this is a video about how the show Law and Order gets their courtroom scenes wrong. Or at least that's what I was told in the first 4 minutes of this video's preamble. And instead, right now, we're talking about an op-ed from Richard Nixon in 1967, where he uses the phrase law and order. So we can pretend that the phrase law and order, now and forever, is a racist dog whistle. I fucking can't, dude. I tapped out. I made it like 25 minutes in this video and we still weren't talking about Law and Order. I'm like, okay, bro, I'm done. I fucking can't, dude. I don't. We went from, and I can scroll back a little bit. We talk about the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. We talk about segregation. We talk about the Vietnam War. We talk about Trump for some god reason. And we talk about George Floyd. We don't talk about the show Law and Order and how it fucks up its courtroom drama. I hate when videos do this. I came to your video to hear about how like Law and Order fucks it up, and in order to get to that, I have to sit through a half-hour preamble about Donald Trump and Richard Nixon and the history of racism in America. I don't care. This is not why I showed up here. I can't. And the other one you can see here, this is why it reminded me of the My Little Pony thing, was this Black Griffin thing. So for those of you who don't know, Black Griffin technically has done nothing illegal. He was a voice actor for Has-Been Hotel, and he made a lot of songs for My Little Pony back in the day. And technically, he has done nothing illegal. However, Black Griffin has married a girl who he knew when she was 14 while he was 25. And he has been actively hanging out with this girl since she was 14. It's not illegal, but it's really creepy. And it's one of those parts where you kind of get into the area where you can morally think this is wrong, but realistically we can't do anything about it. I almost put him on the same level as Onision in that regard. Because that's kind of what Onision got for as well, is he kept not dating girls underage girls, and then getting married to them when they turned 18. Creepy and questionable, yes. Thank you, Colzer. So I go to watch this video, because I don't know the full situation, but I do know that. And this is where, like, I tap out. We are 10 minutes into the video, and I'm getting more and more annoyed. And keep in mind, this is a video about Black Griffin being creepy.
Grooming for terror. Terrorist or criminal grooming is the act of preparing and manipulating a person into performing violent acts of crime or going down the path of supporting violent extremists. An easy example of this is the alt-right pipeline, where
I was done. I was getting so close to being done already, and then they go, this is the alt-right pipeline. I'm like, I'm fucking out. Done. I don't want to hear about this. This was a video about Black Griffin being creepy. I don't care, bro. Let's get on to the topic. Like, I want to enjoy, like, more content. I want to get more information. I don't want to sit through this shit. I don't care about your alt-right pipeline. I don't care about your Richard Nixon speech forever ago. Like, I don't like any of this stuff. It's stupid. I don't know, what do you do you guys agree with me? Like, it's just annoying when videos promise you one thing, and then they spend all this time going on this other shit. Reminds me of this bullshit title of a video based on the Black Parade, and it's called Wendigoon Straight Washing the Black Parade Explained. What? Essayists try not to be a bread tuber impossible. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Feels like someone doing a review of a Fallout 3 DLC and saying controversial on the far right. Like, what? The DLC is about aliens. Yeah. Like, all this, I don't care about right or left or whatever. I was gonna watch a show about or I was gonna watch an essay on, like, a sex pest, or I was gonna watch an essay on, Law and Order. I didn't care about all this other stuff. I thought it was dumb. Also, gotta turn my music back on, sorry. Nope, not doing that yet. That's for when Lumi gets here. Wendigoon is only talked about in passing, and he admitted it was for search engine optimization. Oh, that's disgusting. Making him like the title. Ugh. 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 No. Ugh. Brother. Ugh. That's what Umbral does, or Umbral did when we were talking about him in the one video. How he intentionally, like, brought up 5 minutes of Niji Sanji just so he could get it in the algorithm. It's just dumb. Don't put it in there, dude. It's like reading old books and they throw in random aspersions at Spiro Agnew. I will admit, I have heard the reference. I do not get it. Guy's name for Quentin Reviews to... Yeah, so, I don't know what video it would be, but it's a famous example is Quentin Reviews was talking, he was doing like a YouTube essay on something, and he just randomly stops the whole thing, cuts to face cam, and goes, so, I fucking hate Donald Trump, and proceeds to go on like a 20-minute tangent about Trump. Nothing to do with his video. He's a movie and video game reviewer. Literally nothing to do with what he was talking about. He just rants about Trump explicitly for 20 minutes. Just no reason. Worked because it was his only video that passed 1K. Oof, that's an ouch. "100% agree with your title and thumbnail ironically. That's fair. No, there's just like a lot of stuff in YouTube that I'm kind of... It gets on my nerves. It's wearing me out. I hate those kind of people stay on topic in a scripted video. Yeah, that's my problem, right? If all these people were doing streams and they were getting off topic, I'd be like, yeah, no, it's a stream. It's kind of what you expect. Or if it was a podcast, right? So if it's a podcast and you're with other people, you expect them to get off topic a little bit with each other and kind of follow the flow of conversation. But you are supposedly making a scripted essay on something, and you can't stay on topic. What I think a lot of them do, because there was a time when I thought I was going to do, like, scripted content, is they wrote their first draft, and they never updated it. Because if I ever showed you guys some of my first drafts when I was trying to do scripted content, you go all over the place. Because you're writing it down as you think it. But you shouldn't like leave it that way. You should go back through it and start being like, okay, well, I didn't need that in there. I bring this up like 3 times, so I should cut out 2 instances of it. And that's what you're supposed to do. But they don't do that. They wrote it down one time and then just ran with it. And that was it. The worst one I got was listen to a podcast on pyromaniacs. Spent 30 minutes celebrating all the mental problems they have. Oof. Leaving in 15-minute rants isn't the best choice. Yeah. Like, even me, when I go to, like, edit out a section of my video to put as a video, to exit out a section of my stream to put as a video, I cut out all that extra stuff. Like, I try and keep it to just, this is when I was talking about the subject, kind of thing. It's like actually investigating anything is now considered a political problem. Yeah, everyone considers everything a political issue. And it gets super, super annoying. And also, chat, I've got... This is not technically like news, but I found it interesting, and I thought you guys might find it interesting. So all of you know the Kirsch thing going on, right? Is Kirsch got dropped by a game called Crime City Rocky, however you're supposed to say it. Hey, Mizudama mentioned last stream that she's unable to set tipping goals on her channel. Could you help her with that? Would throw money your way, but your tipping page is broke. Yeah, I don't think my Stream Elements tipping page is up anymore. I'd have to fix it. I mostly just get my tips through YouTube or Twitch bits. Actually, here, I'll pull it up real quick. Because I haven't checked my Stream Elements in forever. I probably just need to update the link, because I updated my Stream Elements thing. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh, nope, it did reset all my stuff. That's interesting. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Sorry, chat. Just fixing this really quick. I am apologize to YouTube or to Twitch, by the way. I've kind of neglected my Twitch, and that's my fault. Also, I should remove the pillar thing for now. Actually, I could. Where's the button for your YouTube channel? I think it's right here, right? Yeah, I'll change it to that for now. Okay, I should technically have my Twitch thing fixed. At least for now. But yeah, so Kirsch had a affiliate deal, apparently, with Crime Boss. Which I didn't know. She played it a lot, but I just thought she really enjoyed it. Like, there's games I play a ton. But she got dropped because of the Vice article that Anna Valens made about her. And what was weird is literally nobody knew that she was affiliated with Crime Boss. So they took it upon themselves to drop her. They didn't have any pressure coming their way. So it's kind of shitty. But this person kind of went semi-viral today. And I said, so much Kirsch hate has been on my timeline recently. To that, I say, keep it going, guys. Love to see those racist Nazi Mayo moon crickets get dragged to filth. It is like, that's gonna be a yikes, dog. And normally, I wouldn't cover stuff like this, because I don't care. They're being a big baby, they're being racist, but I don't know them, I don't care about them. They're free to be hateful and spiteful in their little corner. But then, this pops up. And you can't see all of it, sorry. It's kind of hard for me to kind of move around on it. So I'll just kind of read through it for you guys. So, this was posted to her Discord. Hey, so, just got an email saying I've been terminated from the Advanced Ambassador Program because I used Mayo Moon Cricket in a tweet. Honestly, I say to hell with it. It's so funny to see white people get offended when Moon Cricket isn't even a slur used against them. But I digress. I'm fine with losing that sponsorship if it means that my voice isn't silenced. If bigots call me the hard ER and make racist jokes against black people, Why they shaken like a leaf now? Rip bozos. And then she posts a picture to the termination of affiliation with Advanced. And guys, I will say, I do not support going to anyone's sponsors, no matter what they've done, and trying to get them removed. I think you should just let it play out. And there can be legal liabilities if you do try to go get them removed, in some cases. So don't do it. With that said, lol. What is a hard ER? I already said that once on stream. I can't say it again. I get one. If you're going to be sponsored, maybe don't do a racism in public. Exactly. She was apparently months away from getting a character in game. Thank you for the 5 red hair cross. And yes, she was. This is something we found out kind of after, was that there was going to be a Kirsch inside the game. And I honestly think that would have made them a good deal of money. There are some beliefs that they may be trying to walk it back slowly, because originally they had been banning threads on their Steam chat that had mentioned Kirsch, but now some of those threads that talked about Kirsch are coming back. So people think they might be trying to walk it back. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if Kirsch would even take them back, because that's the other thing. Kirsch has to take them back. I don't know if they will. Honestly, what they did was kind of shitty, truthfully. Where is the save button on this? Not saved, naturally. She won't. Yeah, I don't think she will. Need to fire their community manager for that to happen. They already knifed her once. I think it depends on who cut ties with her, right? So if there's like some asshole intern that just did it on their own and they could prove that, I think Kirsch might take them back in that case. Other than that, she probably won't. And honestly, I wouldn't either. Kirsch said she would, but she would want her M. What's her M? Also, hi Dola-chan. Good night. Thanks for dropping in. Said she'd do it if they got it in writing. That's fair. No, I guess that would be my thing too. Is if they wanted me back that bad, I would need an actual formal contract. It'd have to be a good contract though, because I would still feel like really cheated. Which she should. Like, they treated her like shit for no reason. Oh, here's Lum Lum. I'm gonna call her. Lum Lum. There's Lum Lum.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Good. I've gone over most of my stuff. I haven't gotten to the video yet.
The video. Oh my god, it's gonna piss you off.
I've watched half of it.
The end is going to piss you off.
I was telling.
Granted, I think the entire thing is probably going to irk you.
That's a possibility. Do you want to stay as a PNG?
Yeah.
That's
because I'm still eating, and I don't think people want to see me go during the entire time. It's like, it's Lumi muted. No, I'm just.
Yeah, we we already touched on just some YouTube trends I don't like, and then I wanted to touch on not necessarily Kirsch, but the girl that was calling Kirsch a quote Mayo Moon cricket, who got her. She was apparently sponsored by the same people you were, the Advanced GG people.
I was never sponsored by Advanced GG.
I thought you were.
No, I'm partnered with One Shot.
Sorry, One Shot. My bad. Yeah, she was sponsored with Advanced GG, and apparently they do not like her using that word, because like literally 3 hours later they sent her an email that said they were dropping her.
I mean, she could have at least came up with a, more creative way to insult people.
Oh, 100%. And she was coping on her Discord. What is Advanced GG? It's kind of like Gamer Sups, to my understanding.
There's too many energy drink companies out there.
Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of them use like the same flavors.
Because they all come from the same factory.
Fair. I will still say, chat, and I hate that to be like morally consistent, I think I have to drop them. Hoggers still has the best packaging of any of those companies. They're one of the few ones that they actually send me containers that are properly sealed completely.
Are you going to continue to stay sponsored with them until someone notifies them, like, oh, well, Amizu's problematic?
I don't know. Like, I like the product. I just hate how they acted in public.
Yeah.
And I have to kind of put myself in that situation where I'm like, do I stay or do I go?
I mean, you can just keep them around until you find a different company you want to partner with.
That's fair. Also, I
mean, that's what I do.
I have something to tell you about that later, but I'll tell you off stream. It's a secret.
Okay.
But yeah, then I was waiting for you, and we could touch on this girl who, I think this is kind of similar to the Cal Does Life, except without us, right? Because somebody else is the one that had posted her video to Twitter. Because if you look at any message on her page from like 3 months ago when it was uploaded, it's nothing but like complete support. And then if you look at anything that was from a day or two ago, it's just absolutely ripping her a new one.
Yeah. We gotta get on this faster so then we can say we're the ones that turned the tide on this.
Speaking of which, I was checking Cal Does Life earlier because I wanted to see if I wanted to bring up his thumbnails as an example of bad thumbnails, which they are bad thumbnails, but I mean, at least his are different and creative every time, so I gotta give him points on that.
Different and creative, but the same picture of himself every time, or at least a variance of 4 that he uses.
Do you have any secrets on how to suck Ponker's energy? What are you doing? I don't know what you mean.
What?
Typical behavior is like type first, think second. Why I'm in trouble is the reaction.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, hey, just because, every other energy drink company is being talked about, I'm gonna shill my own, because if you're sick of energy drinks but you want energy chews that taste like Starburst, you could go to oneshotenergy.com. They also have focus chews and voice drops that'll help you talk just like crazy. It is like fucking screamo bands use their voice drops. It's insane.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
They're very nice. They're very nice. They're so nice. The CEO is very nice as well. I think that's what's nice about partnering with them early before they blow up, because then I get to talk with these people, and then I can start working out my own deals.
Hi, Auntie. Also,
Hi,
Annie. Also, Unknown Entity asks, why does iDubbbz look like the mullet man that did the video on Lolly? It's because
we compared him to iDubbbz when we did that stream.
Honestly, chat, and I'm sorry if you think the mullet is a good hairstyle, every dude that gets a mullet is the same phenotype.
Yep.
It's I don't know why. It's in your genetics, I guess. Also, night, Mr. J.
Night, Mr. J.
Lomi, would you like to temporarily entertain chat while I go pee-pee?
Yeah.
iDubbbz and Cal are twins. They kind of are.
Oh my god.
I'll be right back, chat. Lumi shall entertain you while I go pee.
Well, hello, chat. How are you? Have you guys been good to the puddle today? The mullet was good in the 90s? I mean, probably with the 90s fashion, definitely. Because mullets with modern day fashion just make you look like you're ready to go stand in front of a school. You just be like, hey kids, I got some candy in my van. You wanna follow? What about sporting a mullet, then getting rid of it? I don't know, it's like, the thing with mullets is that I have the same feelings about mullets as I do with people who have rat tails, like the rat tail hairdo. Oh, there was this little shit that I went to church camp with when I was younger. He had one of those fucking rat tails. He was one of the most annoying little shits I've ever met. Mullets look like crap. Yeah. Make it a mohawk like me. Want to bully the puddle more and more? He likes it. He likes the bullying. So you're saying you have a mullet? No, I don't have a mullet. Auntie Lum Lum Sleepy Tart's the best. Hi DJ, how are you? As a guy with longer hair, mullets are not good hairstyles. Exactly. Skullets look worse. Oh man. It's like there's so many decent hairstyles for men with longer hair, but it's just they always default to the same like 3 different hairstyles. It's like, why always mullets? But also, like, wanna know what's really nice? Man buns. Man buns are also very nice. Or like if you pull up your hair into like a small ponytail, that also looks nice, and you can like, you know, have a little bit of the front hair just kind of hanging out of that ponytail, and then it looks so nice. When Moose Man does that with his hair, it looks very nice. I like it. Yeah, well.
Also, hi.
Welcome back from your pee.
This is a side thing I was sent. I think this is sent today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see it, Lum Lum?
I can see it. Oh no! Why is Proctor talking?
Chat, I'll share this with you. Because this is the thing me and Lumi have talked about before, and it's related to the Cal Does Life thing. But
it's funny. It's like on another side note with like the POCD thing. I actually sent Mizu a video of someone on TikTok talking about POCD.
Yeah. And
breaking it down for fucking TikTok users to actually understand it.
Yeah, so this is basically Proctor going off on Anna Valens, because apparently Anna Valens blames their weird urges on POCD, which I actually already knew about this. By the way, somebody had sent me this before as like an example of why it's fake. The reality is that he doesn't seem to understand is Anna probably isn't diagnosed. He keeps doing this. It's a quack condition because this pedo tried to use it as a defense. Yeah, well, the pedo didn't, like, the pedo isn't a, what do you call it? A therapist. The pedo is not allowed to diagnose themselves. It's not how it works.
Oh yeah, Proctor is also a Kirsha simp. He is the #1 Kirsha simp.
Yeah. I can only assume that this came up because I made fun of him yesterday. I don't know if you saw that, but I did poke the bear a little bit. I will... Yeah, chat. I poked it a little bit because he made this tweet that was, your friend will drop you the instant it becomes profitable for them to do so. So just, you'd know a thing or two about that, wouldn't you? Big sippy. It's kind of weird because he specifically dropped me over me saying that POCD was a real condition. So the fact that I said this yesterday and he posts this today, yeah, I'm just saying. I know for a fact that's why he did it. Not for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that's why he did it. But chat, thanks to people on Twitter and partially Lumi, we're gonna react to a fun little video. This one is about proshipping, although the title of the video is Fiction Affects Reality. Are you excited, Lum Lum?
No, because the fact that she gets the definition of proshipping wrong in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just funny as hell.
And also chat, as we always say, do not go harass anybody we talk about. We talk about them for fun and because it entertains us, not for you guys to like get them to delete their shit. Also, thank you, Red Hair Across, for the 2. People trying to transvestigate Cleo are funny.
Heyo, I got a couple comments on my satire video about proshipping, and because of how vocal I was about my hatred for proshippers, I got a little bit of backlash. My personal favorite is this one.
Okay, so this is, I did not watch this previous video. However,
I didn't either.
Do you remember what she said about it? What I might take exception with?
No, I said I didn't watch her previous video either.
Yeah, but her comment here, because her comment I think says it all.
Yeah.
Chat, she says that what she said in the previous video, which she does not dispute here, is that she believes Andrew Tate is satire. It's like he might play it up a little bit to make money. He's not fucking satire. I don't know what she's talking about.
I'm very baffled how this video makes an argument that Andrew Tate is somehow just satire and basically fine, and then twists itself around to try and say that engaging in real-life actual human trafficking is not as bad as shipping. Really? I think you might be insane. For a video that has a comment on people being bad at media literacy, you apparently don't know the difference between fiction and reality. My favorite thing about us, as an online community...
Do we have any comments on that comment? Also, thank you, Atari, for the 129 SEK. I'm sorry, I don't know what SEK is.
I think that's Swedish kroner.
Why SEK, though?
I don't know.
Quite sure that Andrew Tate is dead ass. I believe so, for sure. But yeah, this is the little comment she read on her previous video, which admittedly, chat, we did not watch her previous video on satire, because we don't care. But this is how she disputes this comment. She doesn't immediately bring up the human trafficking and that Andrew Tate isn't satire.
Don't know the difference between fiction and reality. My favorite thing about us as an online community is that even when people watch something and they can rewind and go back if they missed something, but they don't, so they comment based on how they felt when I said something rather than what I actually said. In that video, I stated multiple times that even when something is factually satire, or even when it's not confirmed to be satire but I think it is, that if it makes real people have immoral opinions or act on immoral impulses, it doesn't matter if it's satire.
Is that rage bait? Most likely.
Notice, she did not dispute any of the other stuff. She just said if your satire makes people act like a shitheel, you're still a shitheel.
Just makes me tired.
She did not dispute Andrew Tate being a sex trafficker or Andrew Tate being a genuine piece of shit. She did dispute that it's satire, and if satire makes other people do bad things, well, it's still bad. It's not how that... You have addressed the complete wrong thing here in trying to defend yourself. Also, Devastator, thank you for the 5. OCD can be on anything, even ice cubes. Also, chat, thank you for reaching Bull's mandatory Mizu goal tonight.
Mandatory Mizu goal?
Yeah, I just did 5 super chats of $5 or more. You know I don't like asking people for money.
Yeah, I feel that. It's like I only do that for like funny stuff if it's something ridiculous. That's about it.
I'm sorry, I'm stuck on sex trafficking is not as bad as shipping. Yeah, notice she didn't dispute that. For some reason, she does not dispute that point.
likely, but should I excuse it just because it's supposed to be provocative? I don't think so. When your words cause harm, whether you meant them as satire or not, you're accountable for the damage. But if the influence he's known for, and the content that has been widely spread that caused the general of men to be furious and entitled, thus putting women in danger, is it still just a joke?
Even the top comment, which is a TLDR, restates that for me. I have publicly stated multiple times how much I hate Andrew Tate, even though I believe his character is satirical. And just like
I don't get it. How do you come away from Andrew Tate and be like, yeah, it's just satire, bro? Because he lives the life.
No.
He literally...
He does.
We have confirmed he lives the life he preaches online.
Yeah, he I mean, he has whole fucking investigations against him.
Oh, thank you, Toa, for the 10. Apropos of this and a certain Vice author recently, there's yet again been more pouring on of the Thermian argument, including people who I hoped would know better. Yeah, I don't... Like, I've made, like, a short video on the Thermian argument. I really hate it, and I hate how people pretend it's real just because Dan Olson said it was real. But yeah, no, this is... I'm really stuck on this. I know it's not, like, the main point of the video. It's referencing the previous video she did. But just, like... How do you come away from Andrew Tate and be like, yeah, it's just satire, bro. It's just a joke. And she's trying to defend it with like, but I said jokes can still be bad. But it's not a joke. I don't understand where you came away thinking it's a joke, Miss Media Literacy. What the fuck?
Like I hate Andrew Tate, I also hate the pro-shipping community. Apparently, pro-shipping is one of those terms that has undergone a significant transformation online. Apparently, it used to mean being pro a particular ship or headcanon relationship. Like, you enjoy seeing Bakugo and Kirishima together? Cool, I'm pro that ship. Harmless, fun, and a part of the fandom culture. If we're sticking to that definition, absolutely, I'm all for it. Big fan of pop rocks, okay? But eventually, language evolves, and sometimes words change their meanings over time. For example, the word gay used to mean cheerful or carefree, but now it predominantly refers to being an LGBTQ identity. I rarely, if ever, see pro-ship being referred to describe innocent, fandom-fueled relationships. So the definition I'm going to use in this video is that pro-ship is a term short for problematic relationships. So
It's pro-shipping isn't just like, oh, problematic relationships. Pro-shipping just basically meant you're free to ship what you want. Ship and let ship and all that shit.
It's not a definition, it's a term. It means what it says. Pro-shipping. How do you fuck that up?
It's just like, oh my god. It's like you can tell she has never encountered fandom at like the early 2000s to the early 2010s era, because that's when pro-shipping was like, you know, universally understood. You liked what you liked, you ignored what you didn't like. That type of shit.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, oh, we have to be puritanical about all this. If you ship this, then you need to be harassed. Oh, if you like any of this, then you are literally worse than Hitler.
Chat, if we have to come up with a definition for pro-shipping, because apparently the word itself, pro-shipping, isn't enough, it's just people who are pro-different, like, fandom ships. And it just means all of them. It was supposed to be no limits, right? It was, I am okay with all shipping that happens in fandom, which a ship is when you put two people together, is like it's a short for relationship. But it was supposed to be like, I am pro all ships in fandoms, and
Yep.
it was supposed to signify that you didn't believe there needed to be limits on fiction. Which at the time just kind of meant, because it started like way back when, meant you were fine with like gay people and shit. That's the only way it's evolved, is it evolved to explicitly include more things that didn't used to be included.
Yeah.
But it doesn't... I have to go back and hear what she said again. It doesn't mean this dumb shit she said.
being referred to describe innocent, fandom-fueled relationships. So the definition I'm going to use in this video is that proship is a term short for problematic relationships. So a relationship that most people would find either morally wrong or outright disturbing. To keep in the realm of My Hero Academia, an example would be like All Might, who is a 49-year-old man, and Deku, who is at the oldest 16 according to the manga.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
They're
cares.
both drawings.
It's like, do people forget the most, like, supported and popular ship in, for example, Rick and Morty is Rick and fucking Morty.
Actually, it's, Morty and Beth. Don't ask why I know that.
This was before Morty and Beth got popular.
Also, Wolfsbane, thank you for the 5. I don't know, Lumi. All Zutara fans need to drink the copium and get over the fact that they're shipping the most toxic relationship in the show.
Oh well, they can ship what they want. Who cares if it's toxic or not? Ship and let ship. If you do not like it, look away.
Look, chat.
It's just like how people don't understand what dead dove do not eat means.
Look, chat, at the end of the day, the only valid Avatar ship is Aang with a harem of everybody, including Zuko and Sokka.
Yes, I agree.
Which, to me, yuck! There's a significant age gap, not to mention the power imbalance of one being a literal mentor and authority figure, which I thought would be a very normal opinion to have, right? We all agree that All Might and Deku will never be romantically shipped, right? Please? You're way too chronically online if you care about pro shippers. I post on YouTube. Of course I'm going to be chronically online. The main excuse...
That's not what chronically online means either.
Nope.
Chronically online means your entire existence is just internet. Granted, I'm chronically online myself. I have no problem admitting that. There are people more chronically online than me, but I'm still chronically online. Chronically online doesn't just mean I make YouTube videos on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Chronically online is what, for example, Binta's.
Yeah.
150 posts per day now.
Like people that do nothing but live on the internet. That's typically what chronically online means.
That people give to the pro-shipping community is that it's just fiction. Fiction doesn't affect reality. To dismiss any critique of pro-shipping is so lazy and not even valid. If you're constantly...
It's not lazy. It's the truth. And everybody uses that quote-unquote excuse because it's the truth.
Yep.
I hate this, because this is like... It's such a universal truth that we know to be true, that it kind of feels like, how come every time I ask what 2 plus 2 is, you say it's 4? Why can't you give me a different answer? It's like, because there isn't a different answer. That just is the answer. What do you want from me? Like, yeah, I could probably sit down and come up with, like, an essay's worth of dumb shit to tell you to make more excuses for it. But at the end of the day, it's valid because it's a drawing on paper. It's not real.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally not real.
Consuming deeply traumatic dynamics, it will undeniably affect how you see those situations in real life, especially if you're involved in it. Media influences our views on what's acceptable, what's sexy, and what's aspirational.
Okay, so here's the thing with the bunnies can eat carrots thing. First off, rabbits can eat carrots. It's just not particularly healthy for them in the same way you can eat chocolate bars all day. It's more like a snack for rabbits. So I don't know. This is like almost like counter to your own argument, is you have so deluded people with this bunnies can eat carrots bullshit that people have now gone the other way and think that carrots are toxic to rabbits and rabbits will die if they eat them. Which is just not true. And the thing is, people tend to, because they'll say this, right, that people will believe what they see in media. People typically only believe what they see in media if it's something they don't actually have experience with, right? So I actually talked about earlier, and you saw the tweet because you liked it, Lumi, how I was trying to watch a video on how Law and Order is incorrect about its courtroom procedurals. And one point they did make at the start of the video was that a not insignificant percentage of Americans believe that what they see on Law and Order is actually how police procedurals like work. And he actually says kind of the exact point I'm making. He says, if you don't have experience with police or court, you're probably going to believe this is what it looks like because you don't know any better. It's the same thing with rabbits. Most people don't have pet rabbits, so they don't really know what they need to eat. Like, it's always just, that's how it works.
Well, yeah, it's like, it's, with the rabbit thing, it's why people get rabbits and bunnies and stuff around Easter, thinking it's a good gift.
Yeah.
And then they realize they're not prepared on how difficult it is to actually raise rabbits.
And this is why stuff like Jaws took off, where everybody thought sharks were just like man-eating killers. A lot of people don't live near the coast and don't take vacations to the beach. They literally have no interaction with sharks. So their only knowledge of sharks comes from a cultural movie that says they eat people. So they're like, okay, I guess sharks eat people. Because I don't know dick about sharks. Makes sense because they look scary. It's the same thing kind of with rabbits. Like, rabbits eat vegetables. Carrot's a vegetable. I guess it's fine.
It's just like, it's essentially people just being gullible and listening to whatever they hear online. It's the exact same thing with literally anything. You could tell somebody one thing, they'll just take it at face value if they don't look into it more.
Yeah. And, like, some stuff, it's one of those things that kind of feels like people just assume there's no reason to lie about it, right? Like, Bugs Bunny eating carrots was something chosen for the cartoon, but most people are like, rabbits eat carrots. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like, why would they make him eat carrots if rabbits didn't eat carrots? And I've never seen a rabbit, so.
And also, just, it's funnier with him eating a carrot instead of pulling out like a random ass piece of lettuce.
Don't more people die in car accidents per year than shark attacks? More people die from other sea life than sharks. I think it's like 4 people a year in America die from sharks. It's ridiculously
low. More people die
low.
via hippo than sharks.
More people die from vending machines falling over on them than sharks in America. I think like 8 people die from trying to rock a vending machine and it falling on top of them per year.
Mm-hmm.
The original VA for Bugs Bunny spit the carrots out instead of eating them. Do you just not like them?
I guess not. Maybe that entire carrot thing was just like one big brain move attempted by his mother to get him to eat his vegetables.
It just didn't work.
Nice try, Mom.
But yeah, like, I know we're kind of harping on this, but this is something that the aunties always bring up, is the fucking rabbit. People think rabbits eat carrots. It's because they don't own rabbits. They don't know any better. And logically, it does kind of make sense, because rabbits are vegetarians. So obviously, they're going to eat veggies. Carrot's a veggie. Why don't they eat that?
Mm-hmm.
It's really not that weird It's a completely different route to go down. Rabbits eat veggies. They probably eat carrots than it is, oh, I saw a My Hero Academia character that's like 16 fucking an adult. I guess we can just go fuck kids now. It doesn't compute. It's not even close. It's so stupid that people actually use this as an argument. I missed a $2 super chat. I'm sorry, let me pull it up. From Red Hair Across for 2, Lamau Zutara, I shipped Corlock back in the day. Who's Corlock?
Korra and I don't know who the other dude is. I never watched Korra because it was a bad show.
Fair.
Even if it's just a book or a ship. I got this comment from my tropes video, but do you remember when Pretty Little Liars was one of the top performing shows among teenage girls? One of the central storylines involved Urza Fitz, a high school teacher, and Aria Montgomery, one of his students. The show romanticized their illicit relationship, portraying it as forbidden romance that felt exciting and passionate, which, sure, who cares? It's just fiction. But the viewers, who were teenagers, began to fantasize about finding their own Urza.
Alright, hun, I know you're like 22, but the song Hot for Teacher was like in the 1980s.
I'm sure almost every single teenager had a crush on at least one of their teachers.
Let me double check. When did Hot for Teacher come out? Was I right? If I was, it was 1984. Based Mizu.
Literally 1984.
I said it was, I thought 1980s. It's 1984. Based Mizu. I got it right. Like, people have been talking about wanting to fuck your teacher for as long as teachers have been a thing. I guarantee we can find, like, some ye old documentation where some horny teenager in the 16th century was like, they think their teacher's sexy. It's a thing, right? It's a part of human psychology for some reason. I don't know why. I think maybe it's like an attraction to like a mentor type figure. Because this actually shows up a ton in all kinds of fictional media, is this like kind of desire to be with your mentor like figure. Maybe it's just like some kind of empathy thing with people. I don't know why. It has nothing to do with Pretty Little Liars. It's just a thing.
and also, it's just like, it doesn't help when some of those teachers are fresh out of college and teaching in middle school or high schools. Because then essentially your peer is teaching you.
Yeah.
And that's just weird.
Red Hair Cross says it was Korra versus Tarlock. He was a sleazy politician. Also, I have no problem admitting, chat, in high school, our English teacher was a British redhead lady. I would have hit if I could.
I know you would have, Mizu.
If I could, I would have hit 100%. Even now, looking back on it as an adult, I would have hit. I just would have. I don't care. As I never saw Pretty Little Liars. I actually did not know Pretty Little Liars had this as a plot point until this video. I've never watched it. I just knew the name.
I never. It's like Pretty Little Liars was my youngest sister's like absolute obsession when she was a teenager, and I'm just like, I don't get the appeal, but okay.
Yeah. And like she's going through the comments and she's like, but teens are stupid and they like actually imprint on this. It's like, yeah, because teens are stupid. That has nothing to do with the media. Teens are just idiots.
Okay, and it's like, okay, this dude is a teacher in high school. And I looked up this guy's age in season 1 of Pretty Little Liars. He's 24 years old. Oh, again, your peer is teaching you at that point. Oh. Because he's fresh out of college.
Unironically, I did have a peer teaching me in AP history. Oddly enough, his last name was Young, which made it even funnier. But I don't know like how he got out of college so early. But he was like 21. And he was an actual just full-fledged teacher in the AP class. He's the youngest teacher in the entire school.
And
I don't know how it worked out, but all the girls wanted to fuck him.
It's like, honestly, I do find it kind of weird if someone's fresh out of college and then going to go teach high school.
Yeah.
Or middle school.
Feels a little too close.
Like, I think you should at least wait a little bit. At least wait till you're like late 20s and teach in high school. Yeah, I don't know. That's just me.
Glee had a plot point about this. I know, because my mom made me watch every episode. Fucking hated it. That show was awful.
Predatory teacher who would love them just like how Urza loved Arya. Why would these stupid teenagers idolize something so clearly awful? Because they were teenage girls consuming content made for them that was telling them that this is peak romance. And if they never grow out of excusing things as harmless because it's just fiction, then they become the creator who perpetuates the same cycle of adults who create the weird relationships in media which influence the younger generation to normalize it. A show that romanticized
Careful, guys. If you enjoy the fictional content, you might become one of the worst types of people. Fanfiction writers. That's what she's saying.
Yeah. It's not lost on me that we're talking about Proshipping, but she's talking about like an actual TV series made by like Hollywood or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is not fanon work to start with. It's already kind of a little different bod game.
Yeah.
But this is dumb. Thermian argument. This is like a reverse Thermian argument, to a degree. But I just I don't want to just be like it's dumb, right? Because to some degree, I do get the idea that if you are targeting your programming towards teenagers, you should probably be more responsible with like the lessons you're telling them, because teenagers are retarded and they think with their dick more than their head a lot. But we're not talking about like teenagers for the rest of this video. We're talking about adults talking with other adults. So I kind of don't agree with your premise, because you're trying to conflate it with something else. Seems like a forward argument. But like, yeah, I could maybe get her point here if she focused more on like, I don't think it's good for this show to like peddle itself to teenagers and then do this. But we're talking about adults and other adults for the rest of the video.
Yeah.
So it's kind of shitty that you're trying to bring up this.
It's like this could be a completely separate argument that I probably would side with her on. But this isn't fiction affects reality in terms of pro-shipping. This is just
teenagers are horny and impressionable.
Doing things. Yep.
Also, most teenagers still grow out of that. Like, a lot of teenagers don't grow up to be like, it would be okay for me to have sex with my teacher. Like, I know it sounds weird because I just said the same about my English teacher, but I acknowledge that is a bad thing. I just also acknowledge that she's really hot and I wouldn't care.
This pedophilic relationship just reframes a clear abuse of power as misunderstood romance. This subtle shift makes it harder for viewers to see what's wrong with it because the narrative isn't condemning it. People start seeing red flags as pink ones or even weirdly part of their aesthetic. The fact that some viewers wanted to emulate these types of relationships is the direct outcome of media making something unethical seem aspirational. You call it dark romance, I call it a ripple effect that influences how people view boundaries and consent in real life.
Okay, when you do the you call it X, I call it Y thing, typically it's supposed to be like 1 or 2 words.
You can tell that she has never seen a Mexican telenovela.
Oh god, those are terrible.
I don't care how bad they are, they're funny.
You're an adult now, so not as bad. Yeah, to be fair. It's just one of those things, when you grow up, you learn that as an adult it's wrong, even though as a kid you thought it was okay. And people that don't make that transition genuinely have something wrong with them. And that's not like an insult. That's like typically people that can't make that transition do have something wrong with their psychology that they need to work on.
Yeah, it's just like those types of people do need to go seek therapy. And get their brain realigned a bit.
Yeah. What? What is this? This is actually a thing she does?
I guess. Oh yeah. I think this is the manhwa she's going to be talking about.
She talks about it for like 2.5 minutes of the video, and she's got like a whole skip thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't YouTube have a thing now to where you can actually annotate it on screen?
Yes.
So she's just lazy?
Yes.
Again, to go back to my tropes video, there's this yaoi called Jinx, where it has in almost every fucking chapter with the main character and the main love interest, and people just gobble this shit up. The audience,
yes, it's delicious.
Have you read it?
No, but I've read another manhwa that's basically like the same thing, because it's killing stalking, except it's not like, a therapy thing that's more kidnap, crippling and everything. Yeah. But it's basically the same premise, and it's delicious. And just because she's like, oh, this is so problematic, I'm gonna go read it. Fuck you.
Love Jinx are so tone deaf that it pisses me off no end. He's just being coy. It's not because he's a prostitute. He cries in every fucking chapter because of how much he doesn't want to do it with him. The entire plot hinges on the fact that he doesn't want to be there. That's the tension, that's the conflict, and that's why he's crying in every other page. It's baffling how people can ignore the screaming subtext, or in this case, literal screaming, and turn it into, oh, he's just playing hard to get, which is such a convenient way to...
It's fake! She has... Oh my god, I hate people like her so much. It's like, let people be happy. Let people enjoy what they want. Let us see men abuse each other.
Yeah.
Come on, please.
This is why
it's like it's like if it could be on, I don't know what platform this is on, probably Webtoons or some shit like that. If it could be on Webtoons, there's nothing wrong with it. Shut up.
Yeah. Like, this is why they really hate the argument it's not real. Because once you say it's not real, it immediately deflates literally every argument they have. Because I can just sit here, and people are chatterdoing it. It's like, can you believe like they do this in this manhwa? It's not real. Well, can you believe that they do that? It's not real. Just like everything, it's not real. Nobody cares. Except you, apparently, and a couple people in your comments who immediately got flooded from fucking Twitter. You got ratioed from Twitter, by the way. Like,
yeah, and it else too. He said, "I'm sorry, miss, but if someone can't tell the difference between this and actual essay, then we're gonna have worse problems." Oh, just wait till further into the video. You're gonna be very disappointed.
I have been spoiled by some of the comments chat that she says some unhinged shit.
Yep.
To erase someone's pain, even in fiction. I also read some comments, such a girl screaming, and turn it into, oh, he's just playing hard to get, which is such a convenient way to erase someone's pain, even in fiction.
Oh no, his pixel feelings. Oh no, think of the drawings, everybody.
It's such a convenient way to erase his pain.
Even if it's fiction, oh, think of the characters. Oh, how would they feel if they could talk for themselves right now? Oh, do you think your favorite ship would be happy with how you frame this? Oh no. Oh no.
Why is she showing these comments? Is it just because of the first one? Because everybody else is like, this is shit, I hate this. If I could give it 0 stars, I would. Like, these people are kind of on her side, not liking this.
I also read some comments on a website that I used to read this manga where someone actually said that they're waiting for the main lead to start enjoying what the main love interest is doing.
What it actually says is, why is Kim Dan always crying? The things I would do to be in his position, shaking my head. Hope the artist stops making him cry in season 2, so it's and not so frustrating. This is how she reads that, I guess.
I mean, it's like, come on. A little bit of mind break is also very delicious. I could see them wanting mind break.
This is just weird because she's just lying about what it says.
I also read some comments on a website that I used to read this manga where someone actually said that they're waiting for the main lead to start enjoying what the main love interest is doing so they can actually start enjoying the manga. And not, I can't wait for the main lead to leave this fucking and then I get to read something that actually has consent.
That's not what that says.
Go read something else. Go read something else if you want fluffy bullshit. Let us degens have something to read. Jesus fucking Christ. It's like, do you know how, like, there's been a lot of other pro shippers actually starting to speak out on the puritanical bullshit that people have been saying. It's like with people complaining about AO3 and with their, you know, very, very, very in-depth tagging system. People are still bitching about, like, oh, but this problematic stuff is here. It shouldn't be here. And then other people saying that no one over the age of 20 should be able to use Archive of Our Own. Yeah, there was a whole thing about that. I'll see if I can find it again. But it's just like, again, if you don't like it, don't read it. Mute tags. Make sure you don't, like, if you see a tag you don't like, don't put the tag, like, don't read it.
Also, I forgot which one it is. It's somewhere in here. But she likes Toxic Yaoi. Like, what was it? It was like the serial killer one.
As a Fujoshi, I will speak for all Fujoshis and say we do not claim her.
Well, it's so weird that she has like this opinion, but at some point she talked about how she liked a visual novel that was called like Murder
Wait, hold on.
Death Stalkers. I can't remember what it's called.
No, go up.
Uh-huh.
Her in defense of men video. They're not that bad. Hear me out. My sister in Christ. What? That's Andrew fucking Tate on that thumbnail.
Is she just into like CNC? Is this like her secret fetish?
Please tell me that's
What is
just
with
a joke video.
What is the Andrew Tate defense going on here?
I don't know. The fact that it has only 16,000 views compared to her other videos.
Also, what's with all this members only shit?
I don't know.
It's always weird when I don't like when YouTubers like spam the members only shit.
Mhm.
And it just never goes not members only. You see, these are archived videos, right?
Mhm.
Art styles that get too much hate, archive video plus description explanation. My thoughts on racism against black people, archive video plus description explanation. She, instead of deleting these videos, she's paywalling them.
Wow.
That's fucking wild. That's not... that's weird. You put that shit on unlisted.
You know, she's weird. I don't get what hill she's trying to stand on, or if she's just trying to be a bit of everything.
What is this? Being a hater. Bring bullying back. I want to see some of these. I'm not paying for it, though.
I'm sure we could figure out how to find them.
Imagine carrying this mindset into the real world. That's what pisses me off so much about these people. The lack of empathy, the way they disconnect their media consumption from the very real harm it perpetuates. It's not
The way you disconnect your media consumption from real life is what you're actually saying. It's not causing any harm. That's the point. That's why you're upset, because they read these manhwas with this toxic yaoi, and then they go out and don't do it in real life.
Exactly.
Also, the main consumer for these toxic yaois are women, so they literally can't go out and do it in real life.
They're made for women by women.
Yeah. Like, a woman literally can't go out and get in an abusive relationship with a gay man. It's just not really how it works.
Yeah.
not real. Let me enjoy my manga. You're very welcome to enjoy all the manga you like. I read One Piece. I know that pirates aren't real, but oh my god, in this specific case, I pray to God you never interact with a rape victim with the way that you treat the main lead in Jinx. I hate.
You wouldn't, because this is a fucking drawing. I'm not gonna talk about that with a real rape victim.
And it's like Girly Pop. One, pirates were real, just not in the same vein as One Piece. I know pirates aren't real. They are real, just not like One Piece.
Yeah, that's funny. Everybody in chat's saying that too. Pirates are real, though. Pirates are still real today. They take a different form, but they are still real.
Oh.
Like, it's such a weird thing to say. Like,
so stupid.
I mean, she did just admit to being a shonen tard.
She is a shonen tard, but like, come on.
Look, chat, no offense to One Piece. There's a reason it's like one of the most popular manga ever in the world, most popular anime ever in the world. But it's still shonen slop at the end of the day. And people that solely watch One Piece are the worst kind of anime fan to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Same with people that only watch Naruto or only watch Bleach or, heaven forbid, only watch My Hero Academia.
Proshippers in the same way, because fiction never exists in a vacuum. It's not that deep. Let me stop you right there. It is that deep. When you normalize something as heinous as sexual assault in the stories you consume, it doesn't just stay in the pages of a manga. It reinforces harmful narratives in the real world. Narratives that already make it harder for victims to be taken seriously. It teaches people.
People always say this, and there's never been like an actual point in history where that's happened. And they always go, well, you know, it makes victims not taken seriously because people will use these arguments like they liked it in court. Yeah, one asshole is going to say that in court, and you know what happens? Everybody thinks he's an asshole and says, yeah, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It came up a lot with specifically the trap thing, right? Because people said trap was a way that trans women got attacked. And this is kind of along the same vein of you can't like normalize traps because it's like a offensive to trans women. And I found the one court case where she trapped me was used as a defense, and the guy immediately lost after he said it.
Mm-hmm.
It happened literally one time that I could find, and as soon as he said it, the case was over and he got fucked. Because they're like, yeah, that's not an excuse. You're fucked. Bye. And it's the same way for all this. I dare you, take a rapist into court and say, but your honor, she probably would have started liking it after a little bit. Yeah, he just admitted to doing it. Boom, he's in cuffs. This has never been used as an argument for somebody to get off of this. It just annoys me. It upsets me that they always try and say this, and it's just a lie, which is why they don't source anything.
I honestly think she is just saying all of this out loud with her whole chest because she wants to hide that she actually likes this type of content.
Oh, she definitely
does. But she needs to morally grandstand.
Rejection of the highest order.
Oh, for fucking sure.
To see coercion as romance, manipulation as devotion, and abuse as just a quirky character flaw. Oh, you're just using the slippery slope fallacy. I don't care. When the slope...
You can't say that! That's pretty much saying, oh, you're just wrong. I don't care that I am. You should care. Also, I just knocked over my charger.
Oh, you're fine.
My foot smacked it.
It's like we are entering the newest phase of people don't understand what fiction true and like what fiction is and how and that they can actually enjoy fiction without being judged. Well, they can be judged, but no one can just demonize them for it.
Yeah.
Because again, words. It's like with this new wave of Puritans attacking fan fiction writers or people who enjoy fan fiction or artists do not understand dead dove. Because for those of you who do not know what dead dove do not eat is, just basically means what's labeled is what that content is going to have. And if you ignore it and then you see the content and you get offended over it, then that's your own problem. Because it was clearly labeled saying, like, where did this come from? Arrested Development, I think.
Yeah. Where
somebody put a bag in the fridge with notes saying, dead dove inside, do not eat. Somebody opened up the bag, seen the dead dove, and it's like, it said what it was, why'd you open it?
Yeah.
So it's like, you kind of did that to yourself at that point.
Also, this is kind of reinforcing what they just said in the background here. This, for real note, it's people who romanticize, fetishize sexual assault that makes it harder to take victims seriously. The next time you want to read disgusting stuff, keep it to yourself. Yes, it's fiction, but the victims are very much real. I will never forgive you. And then it has people support sexual assault victims until it sounds like a scene straight out of a book. You guys say this shit all the time. Give me one example of this happening. Just one. Just find me one. Anywhere. And not like Billy bunch of numbers on Twitter who has like negative 3,000 downvotes on a website that doesn't even allow downvoting somehow. It was just one real person that said this to you. You can't find it because it didn't fucking happen. It's an argument you're making up on the spot that just doesn't exist.
Is graced with centuries of victim blaming and the glamorization of abuse. I get to complain about it. Fiction influences reality because fiction is created by people, and people create based on the world they know. When you create harmful tropes without question, you're feeding into the system that enables those tropes to exist in the first place. Even if we don't consciously agree with something, being exposed to it over and over and over can erode our resistance to it. You know how if you've ever heard the worst song you've ever heard, but TikTok keeps playing it it over and over and over, and sometimes it becomes stuck in your head, and then somehow it ends up on your playlist?
That's not the same thing.
That is a terrible comparison for your argument, my dude.
Chat, you think you can read Toxic Yaoi and not go out and rape somebody? Well, have you ever listened to a catchy song you didn't like, but the beat still got stuck in your head? You know, same thing. What the fuck do you mean? I don't even get it,
She says a lot
man.
of words, but they don't correlate. Exactly.
She just keeps speaking and saying whatever the first thing comes into her head. And it doesn't even make sense to her own argument. She's like, oh, you might say it doesn't affect reality, but what if it did? It doesn't. I don't know what you want me to say. It doesn't matter what if it did, because it just doesn't. Also, it's like with the song thing, just for her, because she seems to think this is a valid argument. Sometimes your taste just changes.
Okay, I like this comment from Twitch. No amount of DMC, Dante, and Virgil ships can make me want to fuck my twin.
Yeah. Well, because I've mentioned this before, right? I do actually have 2 siblings in my family, and I love incest manga. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Twincest is the best cest.
Yes.
I have never been able to look at either of my siblings in any sexual way.
Yeah,
It's
that's just fucking weird.
It doesn't compute. And I think this goes for, like, more people can probably understand this with, like, mother-son, father-daughter incest kind of content, because that's actually very prevalent as well.
Mm-hmm.
People watch that all the time, and they look at their actual mother, and they're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't correlate. It's never correlated. It's a weird fictional taboo thing that people enjoy, like, through a screen, but they'd never do it in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even just that. There's tons of things that people would only ever enjoy through a screen that they would never do in real life. Even stuff that they are allowed to do in real life. I think a big one is, like, skydiving. We have all kinds of different ways to simulate skydiving, but tons of people just would never even do it in real life. People have different standards for what they want to do fictionally and what they would actually do. Oyaka Don is good. I probably said that completely fucking wrong. But Freud said... So, people are going to hate me for saying this. Freud was not wrong. He just said it in a very incendiary way. Because the thing that Freud said was that basically everybody wants to fuck their parent. And what people took that to mean is that people want their sexual partner to be a perfect copy of their parents. What it actually meant is when you are searching for, like, a partner to love, you typically look for somebody who has some similar traits to your parent of the opposite gender. And that's because you grew up seeing your parents in a relationship, and it imprinted on you that that's what you should look for in a relationship. So,
I see a lot of people like that. Like, heck, I seen that there is this one couple that this dude's girlfriend looked a lot like his mother, acted a lot like his mother.
Yeah.
But it's because he felt like, honestly, if he felt safe around his mother, and he's like, oh, wow, my girlfriend has similar traits to her, I feel safe around her. That, it's like instinctual type of thing.
Yeah. It's not literally you want to have sex with a carbon copy of your mother. It's you saw positive traits in your mother that caused her to stay with your father, so when you are looking for a girlfriend, you try and look for a girl with those same positive traits.
Mm-hmm.
It goes for toxic traits, too. People that grew up with toxic parents, they still look for partners with those toxic traits, because that's what they know is a relationship.
Yeah, that's why there's some people that are just like, wow, I never experienced a healthy relationship because this is normal to me.
Yeah. That one Family Guy episode where Chris's girlfriend looks exactly like Lois. People have just turned it into a meme because they didn't really understand Although granted, Freud probably did really want to fuck his mother, so
Yeah.
he wasn't doing himself any favors.
Media works in the same way. It weaves itself into our subconscious, and before we know it, those once clear boundaries feel blurry. Like fiction doesn't affect reality. Fiction has always affected reality. Because when you consume something repeatedly, it changes the way you think. It rewires your brain. You either act on impulse or exercise self-restraint. And when you're constantly bombarded with media...
Pause for a second. How much do you want to bet she went on WebMD to see, like, okay, does this work? Oh, look, WebMD. Oh, yes, I have been validated.
Yeah, no, this is something you hear a lot, but there's literally not a single study in the world that has ever found this to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Any study that has found that people will emulate what they see in fantasy typically find that those same people were always deeply suggestible and would do just about anything they were told. Those people genuinely can't be helped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, they just can't. So about Electra. Fair.
telling you this is okay, this is normal, this is desirable, it chips away at that restraint. If you don't stop yourself from consuming it, it starts...
Also, just to clarify, because Tawa, I love you. But the Thermian argument is basically saying that, I've covered it in a video a little more thoroughly before, that when an artist puts something into a work, it's because the artist, like, secretly supports it. So this is kind of Thermian argument-y, but the point of the Thermian argument is to say that the fictional media itself is flawed and poorly made because it includes bad things for bad reasons, basically. Which, it doesn't make sense already, but it is technically a very specific thing, and I like to quarantine it off in its own little bubble, because I think it's especially stupid, and people should recognize how stupid it is and how it can't be applied to anything.
Start to consume you. When you read or write about those things enough, you're not just engaging with fiction anymore, you're romanticizing a very real and very traumatic experience for others. And let me just say, for anyone who's actually been through something like this, it's gut-wrenching.
I would like to clarify for her, because she says, you're doing something that is gut-wrenching for other people. What would happen to be your opinions on, I don't know, BDSM? Because, you know, some people were restricted, and they had their agency taken away from them with chains and whips and shit. So what's your opinion on BDSM? Should people not be allowed to do it? Because it might trigger somebody somewhere?
It's like, I would like to know, is she speaking from the experience of a victim? Or is she just speaking from somebody who thinks what victims think?
I think that's what it is. Because, like, a lot of the stuff she's saying just isn't, like, normal victim kind of thought process. Which, granted, everybody thinks differently, but there is trends, and she doesn't fit the trend. But it's one of those things where you're saying, okay, well, this is mentally damaging for other people, so you can't do it. There's a lot of things that are mentally damaging for other people. Doesn't mean you can't do it. Also, most cases of incest are consensual. So your argument is kind of tacitly approving incest.
Yeah. And also, like... Oh, my thought was just there. I forgot it already.
I'm sorry.
Just as I was about to speak it out of my mouth, it just went away, and I'm like, shit, where'd it go?
Yeah. Like,
I'm sure it'll come back to me later.
She's just trying to pull this thing where it's like, well, if it would hurt somebody's feelings, you can't do it. Well, if it doesn't...
Oh, no. I remember now. Yep. I remember now. Because I honestly think, and this is going to really come into play a little later in the video when she gets to this, but it seems like she's just like, oh, but victims of this will feel really bad. And, like, someone who is a victim of whatever could probably say, oh, no, I'm fine with this. I use it to cope. And she's like, no. you're supposed to feel like this, and this is how you're going to feel, type of thing.
Actually, somebody in our comments says something similar to that. She says that consuming this kind of content is just permanently re-traumatizing yourself so you never get better.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could actually find it like fairly quickly because they ended it off as if it was like a quote from somebody. I just want to like find it. Oh, I wonder if I could just no. I was gonna search for traumatize. Also, you can kind of see, chat, that people are
oh my god, the base comments are here. Sweet Neptune, we're so back.
yeah. Yeah, I wanted to see if I could find it real quick, chat, but there was somebody that had like this long comment that tried to make it sound like it was a quote from somebody, but they even admitted they couldn't remember who they heard it from. Oh, here's one. I forgot her name, but a lady said there's a point where coping strategies are just re-traumatizing you. And then somebody just said this.
Okay, I recognize that profile picture.
Is that actually him?
Yeah.
Doesn't he always show up in chat as 2D, though? I didn't know he had a longer name.
It's because you could set your username to one thing, but your channel is usually longer.
Fair play, fair play. But yeah, like, I don't know where they pulled this out of. I was hoping one of the replies would have said, like, oh, it's from so-and-so's book. This just sounds like bullshit.
To see someone out there swooning over the same scenario that left you traumatized. Stop kink shaming. Kinks are supposed to be practiced behind closed doors. If I'm hearing about it, I'm allowed to criticize whatever the hell I want. I was on a walk with a friend and
That's not necessarily how that works. Like, yes, kinks are things behind closed doors, but we're taking part technically behind closed doors as close as you can get on the internet. Like, if I am on because a lot of this, like, when she talks about this stuff, is going into spaces where this stuff is kind of explicitly allowed, right? Like, you're going on to, like, the Dead Dove thing. You're going into a space where it told you, hey, this is an incest chat room. And you're like, oh my god, there's this incest everywhere. Why are you all doing this in public? It's technically not public. It's a loose door, but it's a door. And you still had to walk through it on your own. You still went there to look for it.
and they asked me, how do you feel about people sexualizing Hatsune Miku, even though she's canonically 16 and will be 16 forever? I replied, I don't like it, because when you're so enamored with something fictional, it doesn't stay there, it leaks into real life. If you ignore her age while sexualizing her, you end up ignoring people's ages in real life too.
Hatsune Miku is literally a Barbie doll. She is what you make her.
I think you picked up on the wrong part of that.
What part have you picked up on?
If you ignore age in fiction for too long, you ignore it in real life.
Oh yeah, that's some bullshit too.
That's just some high-key projection from you, girly.
Yep.
That sounds sus as fuck. Also, yeah, chat, I think everybody knows that Miku is, quote, canonically 16. There isn't a single artist that considers her 16. She is always considered, like, the young adult of the group, with the only one that's considered older than her being Luca most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's typically Ren and Len are considered the kids of the group.
Yep.
Is some video games cause violence crap. It's worse than video games cause violence. It's apparently Korean toxic yaoi manhwas make you ignore the age of consent. Miku is 16. It says somewhere on the Vocaloid website that her canonical age is 16. But that doesn't really mean much. Like, it's fairly well understood by everybody in the Vocaloid fandom that Miku is Miku's canon existence is as a program, and then you expand that out to give her different lives. Which is why a lot of different Miku songs have to do specifically with her being a program and being reset into new lives. Stuff like the disappearance of Hatsune Miku and stuff like that. But she is canonically 16, I guess.
And to me, she looked old enough is never going to be a valid excuse for pedophilia. They added the point of, well...
But it's a drawing!
It's a drawing!
It can't be So, specifically, like, pedophilia is an attraction to the traits of, like, a child, basically. And, the innocence that comes with it. So if you lose either, like, the innocence or the traits, you're basically done with it. Once you get to the point of the drawing looks like an adult, but I put a 16 on it, so that's pedophilia, you've totally lost the plot. Like, just... Marnie is 17? Oh, didn't that come out the other day? That for some reason, like, on the HoloLive website, they cite, Sin Chao Captain as 17?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I seen that.
That made me laugh so hard because of how, like, the whole bit with her is that she's, like, in her mid-40s. And then you go to the website and it's like, she's 17. It's so funny. But yeah, no, this is so dumb. Once you're getting to the point where the drawing looks like an adult, but I put a 16 on it, you're totally lost the plot. I have a meme for this. I can't show you guys because it's a little not safe for work. But I had my other character, Yumisagi, and I did a picture where it's the little people holding the pitchforks, and they're super angry, and it just says, it's a picture of Yumisagi with a 15 beside it, and then I have another one with the people putting the pitchforks down and smiling, and it's the exact same picture, but it has a 21 beside it. And that's unironically how a lot of these aunties think. If you just put a higher age beside the drawing, suddenly it's okay. It's such a dumb way to think about, like, artwork. And I don't understand where they get off with it. Not to mention, most characters in, like, these fictional works don't have canon ages at all. Most of the time, they don't even think about it. They're just like, oh, young. Oh, old. Done.
The age of consent in Japan is 16. And sure, that's legally true, but the reason it's so low is to prevent teenagers from getting into legal trouble for doing something natural, like...
By the way, it's 16 in a lot of the world. I know she's trying to, like, shame Japan with this shit, because people always try to do it. Most of the world, it's 16. I think most of Europe, it gets 16 and 15 in some places.
Yep.
Like, I don't think that's a right. If you're an adult, you definitely shouldn't be with anyone under the age of 18. Probably shouldn't be with anyone under the age of 20, depending on what kind of adult you are. But that's not why the law is set up that way, and that's not an excuse. Also, nobody cares. It's a drawing. It doesn't matter if the drawing can legally consent or not. The drawing is legally not a person.
And it's so low is to prevent teenagers from getting into legal trouble for doing something natural, like experimenting with relationships. It wasn't ever an invitation for some 34-year-old 4chan user to drool over Japanese schoolgirls. It's a law.
What? Also, to reiterate, no, the age of consent is not 16, so teenagers can experiment with each other. In fact, we had to make extra laws about that to protect teenagers, even with the age of consent being as low as it was. The age of consent is, specifically in America, legally, is actually not called the age of consent, it's called the age of majority. And it's supposed to be the arbitrary line in the sand we drew that said, this is when you are a capable enough adult to make your own decisions. And it's decisions about everything, not just sex. It's decisions about, like, writing contracts. It's decisions about working. It's like this big branching tree of stuff that we have arbitrarily determined you are old enough to do on your own. Is it necessarily a good line for it? No, it should probably be older, because most people are still stupid at that age. But that's what the line was supposed to mean. It's not an arbitrary line of this is when you can fuck people. And it didn't even work for that, because we had to make Romeo and Juliet laws after that in order to actually protect kids getting in relationships, because it still wasn't useful. So she just straight doesn't know what she's talking about. It's so irritating. What does 4chan have to do with this? Because 4chan is the catch-all, this is a place of degenerates kind of term. Like, that's all people mean when they say 4chan, is they mean degenerate internet users. Also, Shadow Gale, thank you for the 5. People have DM'd me saying my VTuber is minor coded. What the fuck?
Jesus.
I mean, people say the same thing about me, to be fair.
Designed to protect young people, not enable predators. I don't think I'm being the weird one for being cautious of middle-aged people who constantly sexualize someone who very obviously looks like a teenager. Like, it's a very widespread excuse within the anime community. Adult anime fans will simp over teenager characters and say, oh, but they look like adults. Or they'll fawn over characters who look like literal toddlers but say, it's fine because they're canonically 1,000 years old. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna view you as a statutory pedophile.
Okay, sorry. You just said looking old enough isn't valid, and now you're saying being old enough isn't valid. She actually did. Normally you don't have an auntie do both arguments back to back, but she did, back to back. Here's the reality, miss, about pedos and age of consent. If somebody is above age of consent, it doesn't matter how young they look. They are above age of consent. Your own argument is not helping you. It's so dumb. And it actually does discriminate against women and men that have conditions that make them look younger than they are. Of which there are many conditions that can make you look much younger than you are.
Yep. And also just the fact that she said statutory pedophile.
Yeah, like, what other kinds are there? That's another part you kind of get into it with these people, is you recognize that she's trying to say there are other kinds. It's like, no, there aren't. That is the one kind.
They're not actually pedophiles. Focus on the real ones. It's just a drawing. If you draw something that comes from your imagination, and if you're sexualizing that image from your imagination that is morally not okay to sexualize, that will bleed into how you view and interact with the real world. And even if they didn't because you think you deserve a medal for not touching minors, I still don't want to be anywhere near you. It's the same reason why...
Wait, hold on.
She's red flag central, by the way.
And also the TikTok that she was playing was talking about the 2003 Protect Act.
Classifies all renderings of children in obscene scenarios as CP, fictional or otherwise. And if that's the case, when you draw and watch CP, then you draw and watch CP. Yeah. Just so we're all clear, chat, but I think most of you guys here already know this, the Protect Act was deemed unconstitutional, and this specific section was stricken from it.
Yep.
She mixed statutory and pedo. Yeah. I mean, technically, if you're a pedo, it's statutory. At least I don't know any other way it couldn't be. She uses word salad, so I trust her. Yeah, she's rapid-firing ideas, but she's not actually defending any of them. She's just saying, this is true, this is true, this is true. Like, you're not reasoning, though. You're not giving evidence, you're not giving a point to it, you're just saying, it is true.
The real world. And even if they didn't because you think you deserve a medal for not touching minors, I still don't want to be anywhere near you. It's the same reason why porn addicts start seeing anything with a body as inherently sexual.
There's extreme difference between addicts and normal people. And that goes for everything.
Yep.
Because you know what else addicts do? Think about, like, gambling addicts. Gambling addicts, if they can't, like, physically gamble at, like, a casino or on scratchers, they will invent ways to gamble because they are addicts. That is how they are. They try to get a fix any way they can. They need actual, like, therapy and help. And a lot of times addicts can't help it. With drugs, it's a little bit different because drugs can actually alter your brain chemistry. But with stuff like gambling and porn, typically you're born with an addictive personality. And if you let yourself get hooked on those, it's hard to get off.
Yeah, I think that's why, a lot of the people who are like gambling bad, I will never gamble, end up being gacha addicts.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm calling probably about 80% of you out on that.
I've actually been very good and haven't spent any money on gacha.
Never go to a casino, guys, because you guys will spend all of your gacha money. Or maybe that will be what prevents you from going to the casino. But what if there's a new banner that drops that I really want? I can't lose all my money at a casino.
Exactly. Me and Akko talked about this the other day, but we both watched a documentary on a guy that he basically wastes all of his money gambling on Kick and on Twitch and other websites. And it is horrendously painful to watch him gamble his money from like $200 up to $50,000. And then instead of cashing it out, he just spam clicks on the gambling button until it's all gone. And it's so painful to watch because it's for us, it's like so much money. Just watching it all go away into the ether of the casino, and it's just like, fuck, dude. It hurts. Yes, Chad, it's Boss Man Jack.
It's why they develop such wildly unrealistic expectations, whether it's about body proportions, how people should act, or what intimacy looks like in real life. Their entire perception of the world becomes skewed, and it shows in the weirdest ways. The kind of people who see a completely innocent video of...
Also, she mentioned there a minute ago body proportions. I hate to tell you this, ma'am, but a majority of the requirement for women to look a certain way comes from other women.
Comes from other women, comes from the fashion industry. If anything, it's more common in the fashion industry for unrealistic body standards than porn is.
Yeah, like, ladies, any ladies in the argument, which I know there aren't many of you, you're like 7% lady. If you actually feel bad about your body, put on a bikini, make a Tinder profile with that as your profile picture, guaranteed like over 100 suitors within a week. Guys do not care. Guys are horny, and we all have very unique and specific tastes that we can't even explain them ourselves. There is a very specific thing I have with hair I would not be able to explain to you in a million years why I have like this weird obsession with my partners to have their hair a certain way. But if a girl has their hair that certain way, don't even care about how they look. The hair is just perfect. It's just how guys are. Stop trying to like do this fashion industry thing where it's like, we all have to look a certain way. Guys don't care. We really don't.
Of a brother and sister dancing together and comment, I know what they did after this. Porn addict. Even if they're joking. What compels someone to make that kind of joke about literal siblings? Porn. That's what. And the thing is, they've consumed so much of this content that it's rewired their brain to connect everything.
So, we have some scary stats about porn. Also, stop saying corn. Right? Okay? Like, it was a thing with like YouTube for a while where you couldn't say like suicide and you couldn't say like rape and stuff like that. It's never been a thing with porn. Never. I don't know where you guys started doing this shit. But here we have our scary stats about corn. 93% of boys and 62% of girls are exposed to porn by the age of 13. That is because of the internet. That has nothing to do with porn.
It's because of the internet and accidentally stumbling upon Dad's DVD collection when he accidentally leaves it out, and you think that it's a case of space buddies, but it's not.
This is not a porn problem. This is a parenting problem, giving their kids completely unfettered access to the internet, which you should not be doing, especially at the age of 13. By 16, if your teenage boy is watching porn, you know what? Fuck it, let him. He needs to explore the world somehow.
Yep.
Number 2, approximately 62% of men view porn daily. I don't believe that. Just based on some of the numbers we have on statistics, you're saying over half of all men daily are looking at porn.
Yeah, I don't believe that one.
During the pandemic, over 120,000 users joined OnlyFans. That's more on you ladies. All right, that's not on us. And that wasn't even like a porn thing, to be fair. That was people were losing their jobs, and they heard from the news media that OnlyFans was a super easy way to get rich. So they started like up OnlyFans accounts to try and make up the lost money. That was a desperation thing. That wasn't necessarily women and men are addicted to porn thing. Or else we would have seen those numbers continue post-pandemic, but they didn't. Among adult content viewers, 39% report viewing it several times a week. So, how do these two numbers even work together? Over half of all men view porn daily, but only 39% report viewing it more than once a week. Your two statistics, I would have to sit down and like work out the math. I'm pretty sure that's just physically impossible to happen, right? Because if half of all men are viewing porn daily, then you would basically have the same men viewing it, like, alternating every day. It doesn't make sense to me. I can't read this one. I'm sorry. I think it says about 60% of porn users are desensitized to typical. I'm guessing, like, it means that over half of porn users are desensitized to, like, vanilla shit. I don't think that means they're desensitized. If you're going to porn for it, you're typically not going for, like, hand-holding. You could probably get that in real life pretty easily. You're typically going for stuff they can't get in real life. That's why they go to porn. Estimates suggest that around 20% of regular porn users may develop compulsive behaviors indicative of addiction. Yeah, that's because they're addicted. That's like, this is combining multiple words together to make it sound really bad, but it's basically saying out of 20% of people that constantly use porn, they'll develop addictive behaviors. That's actually a pretty good amount if we're talking about people that are just consistently using it. That people get addicted to other stuff way easier than porn, apparently. So this doesn't help your argument very well. Approximately 68% of men believe porn negatively affects their ability to maintain intimate relationships. That's because the media told them that. This is like it says, it's a belief thing. My intro to porn was Spike TV's Girls Gone Wild, Wolfsbane for 2. But yeah, this one is just like a belief thing. It doesn't actually mean anything, honestly. Men who consume porn excessively are 3 times more likely to endorse rape myths and engage in coercive behavior. That's just way too, like, loose. Because it says 3 times more excessively. Like, what men are we talking about? What considers excessive consumption of porn, right? And then, like, what specifically do we mean by rape myths and coercive behavior? Like, all of this is just gobbledygook. We don't have any, like, baseline for this. Bottom of that source, trust me, bro. Studies indicate that 58% of regular porn users experience erectile dysfunction due to addiction, with the anticipation for this number to grow with the blow-up of OnlyFans. Again, like, we don't know what regular means. About 50% of men report lower sexual satisfaction linked to porn consumption. It's too loose. What does that mean?
You know, I would love to see some sources for this, but it's on TikTok, so of course nobody actually sources anything.
Yeah. Over 70% of porn users feel shame and guilt about their consumption. That's called post-nut clarity, you dumbass.
Yep.
That has nothing... It's post-nut clarity. It's a genuine thing, and I actually don't think it's caused by, like, the porn itself. I think it's a hormonal thing because you just lost, like, some of your body material. Source, it came to me in a dream. Excessive porn consumption can impair decision-making and impulse control. That doesn't mean anything, and I don't even know how you would study that, necessarily. Almost a third of the men, 31.7%, said that in consequence-free situation, they'd force a woman to have sexual intercourse, while 13.6% said they would rape a woman. That shit's just made up.
That sounds made the fuck up. You really think any guy would just be like, oh yeah, I would still rape that woman? No!
That shit's just, you pulled that out of your ass. 100%.
Thing back to sex. It's not just harmless banter, it's a reflection of how their brain has been warped by overexposure. And because of what they interact with most, their algorithm changes. They consume even more, and it spirals even further. And as much as I wish these people would stay glued to their screens and never interact with the outside world, they don't. They go to school, they hold jobs, they engage with real people, and they bring their messed up expectations into those interactions.
Where? What are you talking about? Also, like, she's trying so hard to make this sound, like, bad, and it's just hurting your argument. You're like, these people have this horrendous, crippling addiction, but they lead normal lives and go to school and go to work. But they bring their bad ideas to those places with them. It's not helping your argument. Like, you're fishing so hard to make them sound bad.
Yeah.
At best, they make someone uncomfortably laugh, but at worst, they end up on a watch list. The fact that this mindset doesn't stay confined to their screens is what makes it so dangerous. It spills over and influences their behavior, and it plants seeds of discomfort everywhere.
Also, I don't know why she's showing this TikTok on the right side here. For those of you who can't see, it basically says a tribe in the Amazon was giving access to the internet and they immediately became addicted to porn. This is just an absolute made-up story that came on one of those, like, satire websites. I don't know why she's sharing this. This is, Hun, the fact that you shared this at all is kind of indicative that you are very easily influenced and you just kind of believe everything you're told. Because any adult with, like, a functioning brain saw that story and immediately went, how do you get internet to remote tribes in the Amazon? And what dumbass thought, like, that's what we need to be doing with a remote tribe in the Amazon?
And also, like, how would they know what porn sites are and how to get to them? Someone had to show them the porn.
Yeah, if it's a remote tribe in the Amazon, they don't know how to use the internet. And if they're actually a real remote tribe, the number one concern is you are bringing disease to them that they don't have resistances to. This is why people aren't allowed on North Sentinel Island as well, because if any small, like, disease gets to North Sentinel Island, it will basically kill all of them. Because they have been so isolated from the outside world that they don't have any resistances to, like, you know, chicken pox or pneumonia and stuff like that. It would literally kill them. So this just didn't happen.
Everywhere they go. It's not just a chronically online problem when it affects everyone in real life that they interact with. This is the same excuse that a bunch of people on Book Talk would say. It's just words on a book. I'm not actually having sex with my uncle. I'm just reading and fantasizing about it. Because that makes it so much better. Why is...
They're not fantasizing about their uncle or their mom or their brother or sister when they, like, read these content. They're thinking of a fictional one that typically looks like something they would consider like conventionally attractive. Like nobody's like, yeah, my specific mother. I'm envisioning her exactly. I even have a picture of her right here. Like that, somebody does that, but that's not like 99% of people that are into like Proship smut.
Mm-hmm.
It's she's so dumb.
Is incest and so normalized. I hate it so much. The worst thing I hear when people watch like step sibling or whatever is, but they're not blood related, so it's okay. The number of times I've had someone casually say, so you can technically have sex with your parents, right? When they find out that I'm adopted, it's a direct result of how normalized this kind of stuff has become in media.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
They're joking.
They're making a joke about you. If it's a joke that upsets you, then you should tell them it upsets you. Because if you don't tell them it upsets you, they're just going to keep making it. Like, it's one of those things where when people don't understand jokes and they think it's indicative of something bigger, like, when somebody says, oh, how's the weather up there? If I went on and made a video about that and I'm like, I get told how's the weather up there all the time. This is a clear indication that our society discriminates and hates taller people. Like,
This is heightism.
Yeah.
Excuse you.
It just sounds ridiculous. And you can make it for anything. Like, oh, how's the weather down there? Our society discriminates against short people. Like, she's not thinking it through. And it makes her sound like such an idiot. I'm sorry, chat. I'm trying not to be rude, but she makes me so upset.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Wolfsbane for 4, basically. Lumi was right and Arch was wrong. Leave them alone. One of the biggest ships is the Winchester brothers.
Yep. And so, in context of the first one, Arch was trying to say that, well, Arch and Shadiversity was trying to say that we should bring modern times to the people of the North Sentinel Island. And I said, no, leave them alone. Because, no, just leave them be. Because they will literally die if they come in contact with anybody else.
Yeah.
And, yes, with the Winchester brothers, the first ever, like, for the fun fact for everybody, I'm sure you guys already know, that the first fan fiction of Supernatural was Incest. And that was published about 20 minutes after the first episode aired.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's where we get the term Twincest is Wincest.
Twincest is Wincest.
I know people are going to call me a hypocrite because my favorite show is Psyche K, because there's a character who's in love with his sister. But they don't romanticize it. It's like...
I'm so mad. I'm so mad at her. People are going to call me a hypocrite because my favorite show has incest, but my favorite show does it good. Fuck off. Fuck off. Right off. All the way off.
She's coping so fucking hard. She's reaching for straws that don't exist.
This is what I meant. Is she was talking earlier about toxic yaoi, but somebody sent me a picture of one of her videos where she's talking about how much she loves this visual novel about toxic yaoi with a serial killer main character. Like, this is all fujoshis. They're hypocrites, and I hate it.
No, it's the, as we like to call them, fake Joes. They're not real fujoshis.
Who even is this broad? I don't know. People were sharing her on Twitter the other day. And I decided we could talk about it and it'd be fun.
She has more banger videos like this too.
Yeah, let me send me other ones. Don't worry, chat. We're only doing the one tonight.
Mm-hmm. The show actively makes fun of how bizarre and gross the whole situation is. Psyche, the main character, constantly calls this guy a pervert and treats him like the weirdo he is. We're not supposed to root.
Honey, I don't know how much anime you've watched because you are a shonen tard, which typically means you have not watched much. Pervert is not normally used in anime as like a super negative terminology.
Mm-hmm.
It's typically more of like a flirting thing. like how when you were a kid, you would flirt with people by calling them names because you were stupid. A lot of girls in anime, when they like a guy, will call them pervert. Specifically, stupid pervert. It's very common. So I'm sorry that you didn't know this, and this is possibly how you have to learn that your fave actually is toxic. But yeah, no, they weren't saying that to admonish him. They were saying that because she really does like him. Sorry!
For him. We're supposed to cringe at him. That's the difference. The show isn't saying, oh, look at this forbidden romance, how tragic and beautiful. It's saying this guy is a total creep, and it's weird that he even thinks this way. It's satire of all those animes where incest is treated like it's just another quirky love story, as if that's totally normal. Psyche K points out how messed up it is, which is why I can enjoy it without feeling compelled to shoot myself in the face. Context matters. When a show presents something problematic and critiques it or uses it to make a broader point, that's entirely different from a show that glorifies it or treats it like it's okay. So I'm not a hypocrite for liking a show that intentionally ridicules a trope I hate. People kept labeling me as an anti-pro-shipper, which, I mean, based on the prefix anti, sure. Yeah, I am absolutely repulsed by pro-shippers, so if that's what you mean, then yeah, accurate. But apparently the term means something like way more intense. Usually the term anti-pro-shipper is used to refer to people who harass, dox, and bully people for being pro-shippers.
She is such an idiot.
She is.
Yes, hun, a term can be used for multiple people of different levels of extremism. It does. It literally means everyone who is anti-pro-ship. And she says it means anti-pro-shippers. No, that's not what it means. It means anti-pro-ship. Or much shorter, just anti-ship. It means you're against ships that you don't like. Also, yeah, chat, she keeps saying things are satire. She has no idea what the fuck satire is. I mean, this is the same person that said Andrew Tate was satire, so... Okay. Also, that's another thing. She said at the start that satire wasn't an excuse if you still did, like, bad things in the name of satire. So you're still saying your favorite is shit, because it's still doing incest in the name of satire. I thought we talked about this at the start of the video. Ah, she's so dumb. Also, did you notice there's a dick on her wall?
Fucking huh?
I don't know what these pictures are supposed to be, but this one just looks like it has a dick on it.
I think that's supposed to be a tower.
I think it's probably a lighthouse.
Or a lighthouse?
But can you see it? There's the balls and there's the head.
God damn it.
Sorry, chat here. Let me scoot over for you guys, because this has been bothering me the whole video. Is this picture over here? Let's scoot this way. It's easier. This picture that's behind my head. I've been staring at it like the whole time we've been covering this. It just looks like a dick.
God damn.
The whole time I'm like, yeah, look, there's the balls, there's the head of it. I'm such a child. I'm just sorry I've been in front of it the whole time, chat, and denied you this wonderful visual.
Came up a lot in comments of my satire video where I criticized Ray for making his character Masked Nerd a pro-shipper and Fem Nerd a anti-pro-shipper. Someone said that the joke wasn't Masked Nerd was a pro-shipper, but it was actually making fun of Fem Nerd who's an anti-pro-shipper. Oh really? You think the guy who got caught drawing NFSW art of a real-life teenager having sexual interactions with another real-life teenager has a problem with others calling people out for fantasizing about illegal and predatory dynamics? Huh. Weird. I really hope that Ray was sincere about his apology for doing that, because honestly, people like this piss me off even more, because even if he wasn't sincere, at least he pretended to care about the well-being of others. At least he pretended to acknowledge that drawing NSW...
Oh yeah, she said NFSW instead of NSFW.
content of real-life teenagers is a bad thing you shouldn't do, even if you're a teenager yourself. There's a baseline level of decency here, and pretending to care while still not great is at least a step closer to accountability than doubling down with excuses.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a couple things here first, Chief. First off, I would agree with you. Don't draw not safe for work of real people. However, as you just said, he did this when he was a teenager. Teenagers are stupid. We are supposed to teach them that, yes, that was a bad thing you did, but you don't hold that against him for the rest of his fucking life, because he was a teenager. He did something stupid as a kid. So I don't know why you're bringing it up. The second thing is, actually, no. It is worse to pretend to care about an issue when you don't than it is to just not care about it. Because you are a hypocrite. You are doing two bad things instead of just one bad thing. Which, again, I'm not saying Proship is bad. You are. But you're saying that you would rather have a Proshipper who lies to your face about it than you would have one that's just honest. Which just tells me that you would rather have the appearance of a good world than you would rather have a good world. Which just makes you kind of a shitty person as well. I'm sorry, but that's genuinely kind of my outlook on you right now. What the Ray thing has to do with anything, it's a toxic yaoi comic that she doesn't like, I guess. Who fucking knows? She just keeps bringing up all kinds of random stuff off the wall. Like how this thing was about how fiction affects reality, and she went on a tangent about erectile dysfunction in porn.
I'm not saying that harassment or doxing is ever okay. It's not, but maybe instead of framing every single critique as an attack, pro-shippers should ask themselves why so many people are so disgusted by what they're defending, because if you
I'm not saying it's okay that we're doxing and harassing you, but maybe you should ask yourself why we did it.
And also, the majority of people who harass pro-shippers are not part of fandom.
Yeah.
They just see what suddenly got popular, looks into it a little bit, and it's like, ew, gross, why are you doing this? Attack them, and then they never look at the context again.
That's just such a disgusting outlook on life, by the way. I've actually talked about this before, but it is very important where you put a but in your sentence. Because typically everything before the but gets invalidated. And that's kind of what the but is supposed to mean. Is, yes, this is true, but it doesn't matter, and here's why. And that's basically what you're saying. Yes, it's true that doxing is bad, but it doesn't matter because you're bad people and you should wonder why we're doing it. Is she victim blaming? I don't like to use the term victim blaming for that, chat. I actually had a huge rant about this on Twitter the other day. I think people way overuse the term victim blaming. Like, excessively so. I don't know if you ever saw that one, Lumi.
I don't believe so.
I get mad because people try and, like, slap... They were talking about the Cinder thing, and they kept trying to slap victim blamer on me. It's like, you know, victim blaming was kind of supposed to be, like, for people that got raped. You know? Like, actually bad stuff, and you guys just keep using it for fucking everything.
Yeah, no, victim blame... Like, when it comes to victim blaming, it's some very specific things like sexual assault and stuff like that, not internet drama between rich women.
I would agree with you a little bit, ElseTube, that this probably does like fit the definition of victim blaming closer than other things. However, a lot of people on the internet typically use it to mean, we disagree about something, therefore you're victim blaming me. Like, this is not how that works. But yeah, I don't like where she's going with this. If she was gonna say this, you do it the opposite way. You say, like, there's a reason we really don't like you guys, but I will admit you shouldn't be getting doxxed and harassed. It puts the focus on, this is the thing that should not be happening, versus the other way. Still live? What are you talking about now? Let me mention this video, and I was actually gonna watch this by myself tonight. But since Lumi messaged me about it, I'm like, oh, sure, fuck it, let's go. Send it.
You you view my critique as validating harassment or doxing, you are not good at listening. Like, that was the main problem that people had with my satire video, is that I'm completely against pro-shipping. Am I in the wrong here because it's just fiction? Oh my god.
Yes, you are in the wrong because it is just fiction. You cannot like it, but the problem is you're using your not liking it to just spread tons of random ass lies.
Oh, and is this TikTok really using the Slender Man stabbing as... No, both of those girls were mentally ill teenagers.
Yes.
It's like they want to bring up mental illness for literally everything that shouldn't be equated to mental illness, like being a shitty person. Oh, but my mental illness. No, that doesn't fucking matter. But when it comes to people committing actual crimes, they're just like, ignoring the mental illness part.
Also, after this thing you just said about like the doxing and harassing, and then she shares this TikTok where it says the 50 pounds of explosive I taped to a copy of the Slenderman trial. So is saying this kind of like murderous stuff okay in fiction, or is it not okay in like an actual threatening TikTok?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you showing this one specifically? I know you're showing it because it mentions the Slenderman trial, but it actively invalidates the point you just made not even like 5 seconds ago. Because now you're just actively supporting terrorism.
I don't care. In fiction, rape is bad. In fiction, incest is bad. Yes, it's not real. Thank every single concept of a higher being that it's not real. But that does not magically make it any less bad. Why? Because
this is a random thing. Can you fucking buy one of those stand-up selfie sticks and put your phone on it? Like, it's just irritating me that she's holding it like this.
Oh yeah, because she's using her phone as a microphone for some reason.
Yeah, like they make like selfie sticks. Like I have one in my room. I use it to take pictures. That you can set up as a tripod and bend it around so you can turn your phone whatever direction you need it. They're like it's literally like $6 on Amazon. It's cheap as shit. Just buy one. I mean looks like it's probably an iPhone, so you've already spent like $900 on that fucking thing. Just get a $6 selfie stick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. It's just one of those things that annoys me. I think it's because I have like anxiety issues, so I'm waiting for her to just drop it. I'm like, just put the phone down, just set it on the table.
it happens in real life. These things don't just exist in some vacuum of creativity. They're rooted in the
Wait, riddle me this. If fiction really doesn't impact reality, why would the US military sponsor the COD games? Because the US military is retarded.
Yeah.
We've actually found this out. The US military, like, invest all this money into all these psyops, and the only people they get from those specific psyops are literally the lowest IQ people. And I'm not trying to insult military people. I have family that were in the military. But the one that fall for their advertising, we factually know have the lowest IQ of any American.
Yeah, and that's how they end up in the Marines.
Exactly. That's why they eat crayons.
I'm sorry, I love everyone who are currently active or ex-Marines. I know I have a couple in my Discord.
Yeah. Like, it's something, like, she doesn't get, is, like, when she shows this, is that kind of propaganda only affects the lowest common denominator. And they invest all that money because there's a lot of lowest common denominator out there. COD wasn't meant to train people, it was meant to recruit people, and it didn't really work. Exactly. The only time I think COD has ever seen anyone talk about an uptick in military recruitment was the mission where you were flying around in an AC-130. And that was because people are like, oh, I can be like 1 billion miles in the air in an airplane and not have to risk any part of my life in the military. Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad.
I mean, it's like, hell, you have more of a chance to recruit people for the military via World of Tanks and those drone simulation games. It's like, heck, didn't they actually hire somebody that was like scarily accurate in those drone simulation games?
Yes.
And then they're like, go kill these people for us. Yeah, okay, sure.
He did very well.
He did very, very well.
Also, side note, I used to be able to do all my call-outs in German in World of Tanks. I used to play a lot of World of Tanks back in the day. Wonder if anyone joined the Navy because of Azure Lane. Some people have, actually, and they've painted some of the girls from Azure Lane on their different Navy, like, quarters.
You know, Mizu, there's actually a VTuber agency that all their talents are based off of military equipment. There's tank girls, there's plane girls.
They are, and I've seen them. And no offense, girls, to your agency, I like the idea. Your models kind of look bad.
Fair. Come on, you could be a tank femboy. You could choose which tank you want to be.
I like the concept, and I like the overall designs of them, but a lot of their models just look wonky to me. I'm sorry, I do genuinely like your concept, and I wish you all the best.
I mean, who knows? Maybe for their 2.0s, after they become a little more established, they'll be able to get, like, you know, some more high quality stuff.
Oh yeah, chat. So, are we allowed to talk about the gun thing that we had done, or are we still waiting on that?
I think we're still waiting on that. I'm not sure. I know Rage is awake. I could probably harass him.
Anyway, I think I could say this part, chat. I was asked my opinion on a commission for us that involved a tank, and I was asked what kind of tank I would like it to be, and I said specifically the German PZ-4 with the spaced armor, and I was resoundingly told I could not have a German PZ-4 with spaced armor. Even though it is by far my absolute favorite in World of Tanks, and I love it, and I still like it in War Thunder. It is adorable, and you can put a derp gun on it that only fires high explosive, and it's fucking great.
Things don't just exist in some vacuum of creativity. They're rooted in the real, horrible experiences of actual people. I'm sorry for getting so heated about something that isn't real, but the reason is because so many people disagree with me about it. And as much as I want to be like,
so many people disagree with you about it because you're wrong.
She just seems so offended because not everybody agrees with her.
I want to go back to the thing she said a minute ago where she says, you know, like, people shouldn't dox and harass you, but maybe you should think why so many people do that. Well, you know, miss, maybe you should think about why literally everyone thinks you're retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not everyone else that's wrong, maybe you are just retarded. I don't know why that hasn't come up with you before. Considering it's a huge part of your argument a minute ago.
like, oh, well, we all have our opinions. I just can't. It's the same frustration I feel when talking about rape culture, because for some reason, people still fucking disagree with me. And
What is she, like,
oh, well, we all have our opinions. I just can't. It's the same frustration I feel when talking about rape culture.
Sounds like they should have said no.
Because for
About the we blame both thing, while the older man is more in the wrong, at 16 you should definitely know better than to be doing that. That's kind of true, and I've brought this up before, is that as an adult, you 100% know you're in the wrong and you should be prosecuted if you get with a teenager. But we also treat a lot of teenagers like they're delicate snowflakes that have no fucking clue what they were doing. Nah, you kind of knew. Especially by like 17 and 18, you kind of know like what you're getting in for. I always think of that Dr. Phil episode where that teacher talks about how she had sex with her student and how much she thought she loved him. And they bring in the student to talk to her, and the student basically lays out all the ways in which he manipulated her to get sex out of her. And it was a 16-year-old guy, and he straight up says, yeah, like I would do X, Y, and Z to convince her to like suck my dick because I just wanted to get my rocks off, and I knew I could get her to do it if I did that. And like he just says like all this crazy manipulative shit, and he's a 16-year-old, and I'm like, yeah, some kids they're fucking nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely knew what I did. I lost my V card at 15. I mean, mine was like 15 or 16. I don't remember. But like as a teenager, you definitely don't know the full ramifications of it, but you do have like a fairly decent idea of like what sex is and what you're getting out of it.
For some reason, people still fucking.
It helps if girls did not lie about sexual assault. Yes! What do you mean? Why is that would show up? It would help a lot if people... Also, that guy's got the subscriber thing. He subscribes to you. Like, yeah, it would help if women didn't lie about it so much. There was a famous study in... I forget if it was like in Michigan or Wisconsin. Only one police office did it, so it's a very small sample size. But they did the study over the course of a decade, and they only counted fake rape claims as somebody who came back to the office and admitted they lied. 56% of women came back and admitted outright that they lied. That wasn't proven in court. That wasn't like proven by the evidence. That's people who willingly came back to admit they lied. And it was over half of the cases. That shit is crazy numbers. And I'm not saying that's everywhere. This is a super small sample size. You would have to like scale it up significantly larger. But the fact that in that one area it was that bad tells me that we should probably do a larger study.
You disagree with me. And I know for an absolute fact that when you disagree on topics like this,
Let me check. Is it back, chat? Or is it still dead?
Tons of Mizu got 2 base and Glowy's got him. Are we back? Oh shit! I think we're back.
I really hate that it makes a whole new stream on Twitch. It's very upsetting.
Oh, you don't have it to where it gives you a 10-minute buffer?
I haven't seen that option on Twitch. I'll have to ask you for help after.
Settings. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, on that one, I might have to ask for your help after. I've never seen that one. You said it was just in settings?
Yeah, it should be just in settings. Let me look.
Also, chat, it seems like it's still good. It's all back.
It should be like disconnection protection or shit like that.
Feature clips, enable clips, publish VODs, copyright, latency. No, I have disconnect protection on.
Oh.
So Twitch just hates me, I guess.
I guess so.
Because Twitch is every single time it's restarted a new one. I think it's because of Restream, maybe. I don't know how Restream works it.
Fuck if I know.
me being dramatic, that's just the truth. And I get so frustrated because how are you not seeing this? You can't sit there and say it's just fiction, stop taking it so seriously, when the things you're glorifying in fiction are directly tied to real life harm. You don't get to pretend it's harmless.
That's the thing. You don't get to just say it's tied to real life harm. You have to demonstrate that it is. The core of her argument is based on something she knows she can't prove ever. Also, why is she using Doki Doki? I don't know. To more toxic fiction that she thinks is okay. Mizu never streams without protection.
When you're normalizing things that have devastating consequences for actual people. The real world doesn't exist in some perfect bubble where no one's influenced by media they consume. That's not how humans work. Fiction shapes ideas, and ideas shape behavior. A big criticism I hear is proshipping helps me with my trauma. Oh, you mean the trauma where someone did this exact thing to you in real life, and now you're coping in a way that tricks your brain into thinking that it wasn't as bad as it actually was?
That is not what it means. That's not how it works.
He sounds so condescending.
Like, just for example, like, this comes up a lot of times with, like, lolicon stuff. A lot of people either typically insert themselves as the lolly character. And it basically makes them feel like they get power back by saying that they have agency over the situation, when they were a kid, they didn't have agency over the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, so you're saying, like, you're justifying it. It's not justifying it. It's trying to take power back. It's a very common thing when you're talking about coping with stuff like this. It's specifically to get the power back.
It's why the Mesogaki trope is so popular.
It upsets me so bad. She just, like, says this shit, and she doesn't care if it's true or not. She's just like, I think it, so it's real now. Your fiction is your reality at this point.
It's just like it sounds like she's victim blaming at this point.
She kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting.
What's Masagaki? It's Mesugaki, and it's basically brat, or like a lolly character that is very in control and very smug.
It's like, Jackson, I don't know if you know the song Lollygod Requiem, but that is essentially the Mesogaki trope.
Almost like the media you're consuming is reinforcing the same behavior that traumatized you in the first place. It's like you're stuck in this feedback loop where you're convincing yourself if I romanticize it, it hurts less. I also love warping my perception of my trauma until I can't recognize how deeply I was wronged. But it helps me heal. Oh, really? Or does it just numb you enough to keep you from addressing the root of your pain? You're not rewriting the narrative.
Honey, you're not a therapist. Shut the fuck up. This is she talks a whole lot this entire thing about how your fictional taste hurt people in the real world. Genuinely, dear, what you're saying here hurts people in the real world. Because a lot of this stuff convinces people, oh, I don't need a therapist. This girl just told me that the stuff the therapist is telling me is wrong. Like, no. The therapist is the one who should be helping people out with this, and the therapist is typically the one that's saying, yeah, like, go through this fictional scenario, if it helps you. Just, you never talked to an actual therapist on this subject, has she? None of them have. Or the ones that have openly say they think therapists are quacks who are lying. It's genuinely upsetting to me, because they don't care. You could tell them a million ways to Sunday that a million different therapists all are saying that this is the right way to handle it, and they'll just refuse.
In your favor, you are just telling yourself a prettier lie. And the worst part is that the very same media you're using to cope might be the same type of media that influenced the person who hurts you. It's not that bad, it's normal, it's okay. That's what they thought, right? Because they were also conditioned to see it that way. It's a vicious game of round and round where the trauma doesn't stay, it evolves and spreads. If the media you consume is normalizing the behavior that caused your trauma, so you end up reliving it in your head over and over again, then how can you genuinely move forward? The way you need to heal is
because you don't understand therapy. The human mind is complex, and it doesn't work in this very simple way of just get over it. Which, from what I'm hearing her, that's what it sounds like she expects to happen, is you just get over it.
And so I was looking at the comments, and I sorted them to most recent. Apparently, the type of fanfics that she really likes is BTS sex slave fanfiction.
That's fucking weird. To quote
not to dunk on anybody's taste in fan fictions, but girl, you fucking hypocrite.
To quote Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn, the ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
Yep.
It's to confront what happened to you and break down the cycle so it doesn't continue to harm others and yourself. I'm not trying to say that you
That is literally not how you deal with that. That is a way you can sort of deal with it over small amounts. It's called exposure therapy. But that kind of requires these fictional scenarios to exist to confront it. You genuinely don't know what you're talking about.
And it's like, if anything, thinking about it, she is probably consuming the most, like, more so on the side-eyed content that people make, which is shipping real people or writing fanfiction about real people.
Assuming that comment is true.
If it's true, it's like most pro shippers draw the line at real people.
Yeah. Somebody in chat said it might also be with your groomer use. Yes, I can't try to eat candy because they used it to groom me. I've had to bring this up with people a whole bunch before. Because they'll say, well, groomers will use, like, anime to groom kids. Groomers will use anything they can to groom kids.
Mm-hmm.
A big one was Onision used to use, like, just the law itself. He would specifically tell kids about, like, the ways to get around the law in order to, like, suit his needs, in order to groom them. And he'd be like, see, it's legal. Because if we do X, Y, Z, then it's okay, according to the law. Like, they use anything they can.
Hey, Mizu.
Uh-huh.
This is interesting. As of 2 hours ago, apparently a bunch of people are now against Dokibird.
What happened to Dokibird?
Not paying artists and blaming her management for mismanagement.
Well, then. Actually, is that what the
Because
Catliente thing was about?
Yep.
Because I think Catliente's most recent video was on Dokibird, and I just didn't even question it. Mismanagement of Dokibird's PC auction led an artist home for a year. It says, like, down $6,000.
Yep.
I will have to do this research on my own, chat, because I don't trust a fucking word out of Catliente's mouth.
Oh, yeah. And also Catliente made a 2-hour video on the Cinder situation.
Also probably very wrong.
Most likely.
If you talk about Doki, can I bounce in? We're not going to talk about Doki tonight. I don't like talking about stuff that I haven't, like, somewhat researched. Like this video, I've seen this video once, I just didn't, like, retain all the information.
I also watched it right before I came on to stream, and I'm just like, ugh. Bleh. Then I seen she had some other videos, and I'm just like,
Hope you enjoyed your thumbnail. I did. Mostly. He's talking about the thumbnail that Kenny made of me.
That thumbnail was beautiful.
Doki might be an under the tea topic. It depends. I mean, we'll probably bring it up, but how long it is depends on if it actually has legs or if people are just kind of making a lot of assumptions, which the VTuber Twitter does a lot.
Yeah, it's like right now what I'm seeing is people that are just like hold on, I can actually just read this direct tweet. Someone said, nah, because I'll never forget how motherfuckers were jumping on us for quote-unquote siding with management for pointing out responsibilities on her part. Now she's indie and still cries about mismanagement. Like, if y'all don't see it, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Apparently I had, like, 8 billion different messages on Discord while we were doing this. I'll go back to them later.
So it doesn't continue to harm others and yourself. I'm not trying to say that you can't use media to cope. I'm saying that if your coping mechanisms perpetuates the very harm you're trying to escape, then maybe it's time to reevaluate. You deserve better than a band-aid solution that only makes the wound fester. Because oh my god, if you show me some artwork you did showing William Afton and his daughter in a weird-ass interaction, I will actually put it in my mouth, chew it into a fine paste, and spit it back into your face. I'm sorry.
You are very weird.
She is very, very weird.
That's just such a weird thing to say.
Yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll wait for you. Actually, the manager's fault and people are blaming Doki still. Actually, I talked about this with the Cinder thing. Is that after Cinder, people are gonna start realizing that you can, like, blame a VTuber for anybody they hire. Before now, it happened a lot with Bao, that we agreed that a lot of VTubers just didn't know what their manager was up to. And they typically just trusted them to handle the workload for them. That's kind of the reason people would hire managers, so they didn't have to do all the work. But now we have established with Cinder that you know everything your manager does, and you are responsible for everything your manager does, morally speaking. And it's gonna continue. It's gonna get worse. I don't see it. I don't see it getting better anytime soon. Also, people are still very bloodthirsty after the Cinder thing, but Cinder has been very quiet, so they don't have anything they can latch on to, which means they're probably going to start just kind of grabbing up other people in order to fill their bloodlust. That's the best I can say. Also, chat, I'm sorry to torture you with this girl, but like it was a popular Twitter thing, and I think it's very good for when we see these like dumb videos pop up on Twitter that we actually watch them. So we're not just dunking on like a random screenshot. We're actually informed about what we're throwing tomatoes at. Most I've seen are people taking pot shots at Shy Lily. Interesting. But yeah, this girl is weird. Wow, Mizu, that's dark. What's dark? I think everything I said was pretty nice. Mostly. Oh, also, chat, for those of you that want like segments to the video, I'm off work tomorrow, so I will probably segment the video out into multiple smaller videos for people that just want like one or two pieces of it. But wouldn't the quickest way for Doki to counter the controversy be to pay the artist ASAP, maybe with a little interest? Depends if she has the money. $6,000 is a lot, and some VTubers are very poor with money and operate at at like a neutral gain, basically, where they're constantly spending stuff. But I mean, we'll see how it goes with Doki. If it is just her manager did some dumb shit, it's one of those things where like, yeah, quote unquote legally it's her fault because she hires him, but morally I really don't think you can judge her for that. I think a lot of people forget that when it comes to a VTuber hiring a manager, yes, you are hiring a manager, but you are technically hiring somebody above you, right? So when people think of a manager, they think of like at a store. The person who owns the store hires a manager to manage the store for them. That is a level below them. They are supposed to manage the manager, and the manager just keeps all the important stuff running at the store. But when a VTuber hires a manager, they're hiring upwards. They're hiring somebody that knows how to do stuff that they don't know how to do with their own career. They're hiring someone to manage their sponsorships and stuff, and all this extra bits and bobs that they don't know how to do. And typically VTubers managers are hiring it because they have no clue what to do. They have no clue how to keep themselves in line, how to manage themselves. And it adds a weird dichotomy, I think. Because like if you're hiring somebody to manage a store for you, you should know like how store management works, basically. But if you're a VTuber, you're hiring a manager because you don't know how it works. But you actually see a lot of this with the Cinder and Red thing, is a lot of times when Nano would ask Cinder something, Cinder would say, well, Red told me XYZ. Oh, Shiroi, did you raid? Hi, Shiroi. I hope you're having a good one. Good evening, good night. I was actually gonna raid you after stream if you were still going.
Yeah, okay, Lum return.
Welcome back. We were talking a little bit about the Cinder thing. Well, because the way I see it is VTuber managers are in a weird spot, right? Because technically, yes, you are responsible for what your manager does because you are technically hiring them. But unlike, you know, a corporate executive hiring a manager to manage a store for them, which is downline, with VTubers, hiring a manager is more like upline. You're hiring somebody to be above yourself in your own business because you don't know what you're doing. Or that's typically how most VTubers use it, even though that might not necessarily be the best way to do it. So even though legally I think you're still on the hook, morally I think it's very difficult to like say that you should have known what your manager was up to.
Oh, okay. So I was looking at Rima's Discord, and apparently somebody sent Cat Liente this fucking Google Doc with all the Doki Bird stuff. And it's not public. The only way that we can see it is through her goddamn fucking video.
Wait. She does. Somebody gave her a document.
Yep.
No, why? Does she have a link to it?
Nope.
Oh, why? I don't want to have to watch her video for this fucking document. This is cringe. Also, guys, stop sending Cat Liente stuff. She sucks. She doesn't know what she's doing.
I would rather have False have this fucking document than Cat Liente.
At least False knows something about VTubers. Cat Liente openly doesn't know what she's talking about and doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
It just annoys me. Anyways, we should probably finish this. We got only about 2 minutes left, chat. Alara even? No, not Alara. Alara's just as bad as Cat Liente. She probably won't even read half your document. We won't even get to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Being against pro-shipping does not mean, oh, so you want all pro-shippers to die, or, oh, so you condone doxing and harassment and stalking, da-da-da. Stop twisting my words and listen for a second.
We did listen. You actually did justify that earlier. So, I mean, also, you can't, I've talked about this to people before, right? I don't think as a creator you are necessarily responsible for your audience. However, there are certain things you say that you should expect your audience to react a certain way to it, right? So when you are saying that pro shippers actively encourage pedophilic relationships, necessarily harassment comes after that, because what do people think of pedophiles, right? Like, it's not saying, oh, I simply have a light disagreement with this person. By the way, don't go harass them. You're saying, I believe this person is going to be a pedophile and is going to create more pedophiles. Yeah, your viewers are going to send them some heinous shit and try and dox them because they're trying to protect children. You're actively saying the people you're talking about are a danger to kids. So yes, they're going to get doxed and harassed. I'm going to have to pull the logs after stream. My CPU's fine though. It's still at 60%. Or sorry, 60 degrees. I'm sorry, chat. I don't know what's happening. Also, thank you for the follow, Windier. Did stream kill for a second? Yeah, stream killed for a second. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with it, chat. After the last couple streams, I genuinely can't figure it out. Everything looks fine on my end.
Honestly, I would talk to your ISP. Maybe you need to update your equipment.
Maybe.
You're against pro-shipping. Do not engage with these people. Just don't. Do not comment on their posts. Do not slide into their DMs. Do not try to debate them. Just quietly report their account. That is literally the
Okay, wait. No, that is harassment still.
No.
That's still harassment.
Oh, just report their account, guys. No. The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, no, you're still encouraging harassment. You're just encouraging like quiet harassment. You suck.
Effective thing that you can do as a viewer. You're feeding into their reach whether you realize it or not. And let's not forget, some of these people thrive on rage bait. And obviously, I'm not saying this because I'm soft on pro shippers, because engaging with them on their turf isn't going to fix it. You're not going to argue someone out of thinking Dora and Diego R34 is okay. So go save your energy, because your outrage directed at their DMs isn't going to change their mind. As I said before, I don't condone harassment harassment or cruelty towards these people. I believe in peace and forgiveness and giving people the time and space to unlearn harmful behaviors. I want them to grow, to heal, and to become better versions of themselves.
Unless their therapist tells them to do it in a way that you think is distasteful. She has no idea what she's talking about, but she speaks with like such authority on it. Why the hell is there a stream of TikToks on the side? She's trying to use them to enforce her point. I'm sorry that you guys can't see it very well because it's behind my head, but all of these have like text on them. Like this one says, my hot take is most pro-shippers are extremely traumatized children, and instead of sending them death and rape threats, we should encourage them to get help and recover / find better coping mechanisms.
Because yes, I know that pedophilia is classified as a mental illness. I know that some people are born with those tendencies or are traumatized into them. But that doesn't mean I'm going to excuse it. Being born with something or having a traumatic past does not absolve you from taking advantage of others.
She is just so talking out of her ass right now. She's just straight up calling people pedophiles at this point.
Difference between being civil and letting someone's harmful mindset poison your own peace. You can recognize their humanity without excusing their behavior. But I don't know, that's just me. Laters.
That's just you and you're wrong. Also, what's this? A guy in middle school used to grab me all the time because I'm Asian. He wanted to be like an anime protagonist. So STFU with that fiction isn't reality BS. May. Yeah, okay.
He was just creepy.
You met one creeper in school and you decided he's an anime protagonist. And in middle school, too. Honestly, I think she's lying. I'm gonna say that outright. Because I see multiple people in the comments that just come up with like the most insane shit. Like, there's somebody in the comments that says, when I was a kid, I was in pro-shipper circles, and they constantly, every single one of them always said that, if it was okay, if dating a child was okay in fiction, it was okay in real life. It's like, that didn't happen. You're just saying that because it fits your argument. That didn't happen. That's unfair. In anime, it's usually the girl who's way more predatory. Yeah. Normally in anime, guys aren't allowed to be perverts. Like, openly. They have to, like, accidentally fall into it. Like, a girl has to fall onto them. They're not allowed to do it themselves. She's just insane and hyper-coping right now. But chat, I hope you enjoyed the torture. I would say you could blame Lumi for it, but I'd already planned to cover it before Lumi asked about it. So
don't worry, we'll watch more. Just not tonight.
Yeah. I do want to thank everybody for showing up tonight and putting up with the fact that my thing died twice. I don't know why it did. I thought I had mostly gotten it fixed by now. Does anybody have any like last comments they want to get into the stream before I send you all away for the night? How about Lum Lum? Does Lum Lum?
I don't got shit.
Fair. Well, chat, over on YouTube, I'm gonna send you all to Sayu because I like Sayu. I think Sayu's pretty based. Even if she's not good at sticking up for herself. And over on Twitter... You know what? Over on Twitter, I'm gonna send you to my friend Ren, because I love Ren.
Do you mean Twitch?
Twitch, sorry. I do need to stream on Twitter eventually. Right? Be good for Ren, guys. And she's playing Headliners, which I'm actually going to get Lumi and Akko to play soon because I got some free keys for it. I
got it downloaded, so whenever you want to play, just let me know.
Yep, I've got one more key to give one of our friends. I will have to think about who gets it.
You can do that, or you can do a giveaway.
I could while we're playing. Anyways, I don't know. That'd actually be kind of sus because I did get the key for free from the devs. So it was supposed to be for friends.
Oh, fair.
It'd be a little sus for me to use it for like viewership things.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, night everybody. Love you all. Mwah.
Night, guys.